Yeah, I see that, Paul. How you doing, my guy? I appreciate you. I don't know what's going on. I think that video might be a little problematic here. We've had some issues with it here in the last stream or so, but this overlay has been causing me some problems as well. Ugh. I'm getting warnings that it's skipping as well here, so I'm just gonna switch the scene and see if that helps settle it down a little bit. I do apologize, everybody, again. I don't know why it does this. So let me try to settle my computer down a little bit. It's really unfortunate because I really like this overlay. I appreciate you, Paul. It settled in last night, so I'm hoping it'll do the same thing here again today. I don't know why it does this, though. Come on. Settle in. I think it has a lot to do with the temporary capture card I've got right now as well. I think that's causing some of the issues I'm having with the stream right now. But we'll get it sorted eventually. Streamer life, gotta love it. I'm glad I sound good. I'm glad I still sound sexy. I mean, that's what counts, right? Right? Alright, so at least you guys can hear me right now. I do apologize about the stream. That's unfortunate. It will settle in. We're here for qualifying session number 2 for the inaugural season here from GT45 Gaming. So the community's been hinting very aggressively as of the last year or so, especially, that they want to see something come from GT45 Gaming in the form of a championship series. So we've been running championships from a great partner, DMJ Vroom Room. We ran 3 seasons of Choice of Weapon, which were absolutely fantastic. Just great racing, great series, great organization. And then from there, we went into another series supplied from DDOT. It was the Roving Island World Tour 2 series. It was a great series. Again, it went off huge. The racers loved it out here. We had 3 divisions kick off last season with it. And, we sat back. We took a long look at everything that was going on. And as an admin staff and myself, we figured the team was big enough and strong enough to fire up an attempt at our own championship here. So we've taken a little break from our great partners over in the UK just to work on this and get this out. And 6 months in the making, ladies and gentlemen, we're finally live with it yesterday for our first qualifying session, which was fantastic. We had 12 drivers come through qualify last night, and I gotta tell you what, after seeing the split times all calculated in unofficial results, so to speak, it is very close. Very, very, very close to the top 8, especially. So, with that being said, I don't suspect that's going to change. I suspect that's going to get even tighter and tighter. We could see drivers literally split by mere hundreds or thousands of a second in this qualifying run here this weekend. The range of time available or able to get in this car is so dependent on what we've seen last night, building boost, making sure you've got enough battery in this car to get a full send lap. We've seen drivers have various strategies at how they were going to attempt that. Hey, sexy. Hey, we ST. We're not going to say it because we're fan PG here on this one, but appreciate you, Paul. Didn't say that. You did. I knew what you meant. All right, so it's still skipping. Come on, settle down, settle down, settle down. You can do it, stream. You can do it. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to go take a look at my stream settings. Something is amiss. Something must be amiss. Hopefully, it settles down. It did last night. We had a 4.5 hour stream last night. So, I mean, it finally did chill out. So, we'll do much of the same thing we did last night. We'll shut down all the unnecessary stuff on the computer and let the computer have some processing power. And it's settling in. I could see it. I have my all my settings up in my screen that you guys can't see in front of me, so I can see how much processing power is operating and etc. All that nerdy stuff. But yeah, it's a chill night tonight. We're hanging out with the community while we do qualifying, like we did last night. We're gonna chill, hang out, answer questions, just talk, catch up. We haven't. haven't had a lot of quality time with the winner's circle lately, especially over the last year. We've been very busy just with the commentary, and we try to keep that very realistic, so to speak. So with that being said, um, I don't engage the chat as much as I would on a normal regular live stream. And our special operations administrator, as always, coming in. She's a legend. Hashtag Miss D's up in the chat would be wonderful. I don't know what I'd do without her sometimes. Really, ladies and gentlemen, she is a huge, huge, huge part of what we do here now. So, yeah. And of course, co-owner of Ten Tenths SimRacing again. It's an interesting partnership. We started a sim racing team. Many of the community know that now. Obviously, we're out there, we're racing. We're competing as a team. We're trying to, get the team name out there. Helping with the page a little bit, obviously. But we started 1010 Sim Racing after we had exited Rockefeller, and what a great organization over there. I want to give a huge shout out to Rockefeller Racing, Catch, Magic, Spec, Seffi, and the rest of the group over there, Stacy, Milan. And I'm missing so many of them over there. There's so many great drivers over there through all the great sim platforms. I just want to give a huge shout out to those guys. They really gave me a great opportunity when I was very young in my sim racing career. They taught me a lot. And a lot of what I learned from over there has related to my racing now. And, Catch, I love you, homie. But commentators make good racers every once in a while, my guy. So, I can't wait. I hope we get to see you guys on track sometime. I hope we get to see you back in the community rolling with us here again. We miss you guys. And I just want to give a shout out to Rockefeller. So, we exited Rockefeller and we took a break for a little while. We had some offers for some other teams. And don't get me wrong, with all due respect to all those great teams, I didn't feel like I wanted to be at the mercy of somebody else, So I decided to just, take a leap and start 1010 Sim Racing. And Miss Devious, she was so on board. She just jumped into it, head like all in, and not expecting anything but just to be a part of something cool and build this team with us. And was offered a co-owner position with the team because she deserves it. And here we are. So, much love to Miss Devious, to co-owner of Ten Tenths. So, the series is presented by 1010 Sim Racing, as well, and it's cool. It's cool. So there's a lot of pressure on the 1010s guys and gals racing this season. Obviously, we're the presenting faction of the series in cooperation with, of course, myself, GT45 Gaming. So it's a dual ownership partnership kind of type deal. So it kind of makes it cool. But we're definitely looking to grow this really big in the future. We've reached out to some potential maybe partners and sponsors from the team side of things, which hopefully could potentially also draw in some attention to the GT45 Gaming Championship side of things. So, if you're a partner or you're a sponsor out there and you're looking for something family friendly, good quality, tasteful content for a whole family to sit down and watch, GT45 Gaming really, really does have a lot of pride in family friendly commentary broadcasts. These live races that we put on is really important. I don't know what that thing is that's in the corner there. That is something interesting and new showing up there. Huh. Okay. What's up, alien? How you doing, my guy? Cody coming in with that thumbs up. Red Green can attest. Canadian internet is more funny. Oh my. No, it's just my computer's working really hard right now. I've pushed it to its limits. So, all right, I got to be paying attention here. Race control is all over it already, and I'm just slacking here. So too busy hanging out with all you beautiful, lovely community members that we miss a lot. We really do miss you guys. We're gonna, like I said, try to get back to doing what we're used to seeing. All right, so I'm paying attention. I promise. Okay. So we've seen Black Flag Racing. How you doing, my guy? Nice to see you, my guy. Absolute pleasure to see you coming in. Let's go. Love you, boss, man. I Misty, appreciate you, Alpha. Another driver here. I can't wait to see what he's got, too. I think, are you entered, Alpha? I don't even know. Love that sentiment, man. Sometimes the series means more than the sponsorship. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and it's important. I mean, motorsports in real life is a family-friendly affair, right? I mean, as friendly as it can be in real life, right? When you have huge groups of people together. But so it's important that sim racing should be much of the same thing. You know, the more and more that sim racing becomes a real life factor in people's lives, especially men, middle-aged men especially, it seems like, you know, that means that the family gets involved, and as it becomes more competitive, you know, real life racers are getting more involved with sim racing because it's helping keep them sharp in the off season for the real life racing. So, you know, the lines are blurring. The lines are really truly blurring. You know, is real racing any different from sim racing? Of course, but where's that line? The line, it's fading. You know, it's almost one big giant family now, and that's what's important. So to me, it does need to be family friendly for the commentary. Obviously, we have 18 plus content on the channel as well, but we do obviously put that disclaimer in. All right, so we have our first driver ready to go out here, and it's a brand new registrant here actually as well. He came and checked the series out. He's been in the server here for a few days, and he's going to give it a spin here. So out lap and 4 hot laps here for this driver, and we're going to take his best 2 combined laps to get his total time here for division placement. So again, it's boost management. We know nothing about this driver. He's brand new to us. He's new to the community, so welcome in, Dudley. Appreciate it. Love it. Let's see what he's got. Exciting to see what the new drivers are going to bring to the series. I hope you're feeling well, my dude. I know that you got things going on, man. You know, we're thinking about you here too as well for Ten Tenths Racing, and we love you, brother. You know, just keep doing what you're doing, man, and just keep fighting a good fight, brother. Oh, the big screen. Hey, next weekend sounds good, Alpha. It's Vegas, baby. No kids but my cat spots for me. Perfect. You know what? So far here in qualifying, it has been a tried and true testament that the cat makes you faster. Our fastest qualifiers had cats bothering them during qualifying. Just saying. Just saying. All right, so this is an out lap. So here the driver has an opportunity to build air pressure in the tires. That matters. If you bring up Sim Dashboard on Gran Turismo 7, connect your PlayStation account, go jump on track, you will literally watch your tires, even in a lobby that has 0 tire wear and 0 fuel consumption, build up tire pressure, so that matters. You also need to worry about managing your battery here now as you come through Blois Chamont. This is going to be the first flying lap, so you can sacrifice time here now coming into the braking zone, charge that battery up, and get ready to launch a good flying lap. You waste your second lap, you build up, you throw a flyer in on your third lap, and if you feel like running the fourth lap, like Jay said did not like to do last night, our fastest qualifier, he knew that, you know, he had no battery boost, he knew he wasn't going to make an improvement on his 2 best times, so he just parked it. You know, that's just a racer's decision right there. So let's see how these guys handle it. Coming through Lasource for the first time here, he looks very clean, he looks very, very crisp. He looks like he's got a great handle on the car as well. The sim racing community has done a lot for the mental health of men, and it has offered a real outlet. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, and that's a big topic nowadays as well, right? And there's great representatives in the sim racing community available to the sim racing community as well. You just got to reach out. You can reach out to me. I can direct you to some great mental health representatives that I do know within the community myself. I've reached out to one to bring into our team server, so our 10 Tenths drivers have that option available to them as well if they need to talk or if they need some resources, you know, a phone number or a website so they can go reach out to the proper person to help them, you know, deal with whatever it is they're going through. So it is real. But the one thing I noticed with the sim racing community is, you know, the mental health representatives are a fantastic resource to have because they can give us the availability to much more professional resources. Obviously, myself as a creator, I'm not a professional. You know, I'm here to listen. I'm here to just try and give advice based off of personal life experiences. I've gone through a few things in my life. You know, I can relate to some things. I can't relate to everything. But one thing I can do is really listen and just try to give good positive vibes and try to keep people steered in the right direction. And that's the best I can do. But at the end of the day, I'm not a professional. But sometimes that's all a person needs is just to have somebody to talk to. Just to get it off their shoulders, just relieve some of that pressure, right? All right, so we're getting near the end of this first hot lap here. Sorry, we're kind of jumping back and forth in between here, Chad. Again, you know, qualifying is important. The drivers are very important. The drivers make the series, so I don't want to take too much attention away from our drivers here. And Dudley being a new driver, that livery looks fantastic, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. And he's coming around the chicane here. He's on a good lap here. This is going to be a 2-minute maybe less. Oh boy, it's a 158.406, and we have our fastest lap in qualifying here officially put down by Dudley, and that was only lap 1 of 4, ladies and gentlemen. So the new guy coming in with authority. He has walked through the paddock and thrown it on the table and like, all right, guys, let's see what you got for me. I love it. Not just men. You're right, Mischievous. I'm sorry. I'm still working on not being so gender specific. I do apologize to our women sim racers and viewers as well, men and women. I guess it's just been so overshadowed for men that and being a man, I just always lean on the man genderism. So I do apologize to our lady viewers. It's something I'm working on. It's such a yeah. I'm old school. I'm getting old. I'm having a hard time breaking the bad habit. You know, got to teach this old dog some new tricks sometimes. It's true. She was in my lap when I finally got my see, it's the cat thing. But the sim racing community is really great for that. You know, I've leaned on the sim racing community very heavily as a content creator over the last almost 4 years now. We're hitting 4 years here pretty soon, actually, officially. So, you know, they've helped get my life back on track. They've helped bring my own mental attitude and refocus it in the right avenues again. And in return, you know, we're trying to give it back to the community now, and you know, it's a joint effort. You know, it goes both ways. I still struggle with things, and the community is always there to pick it up when I need them. You know, if I need to talk to somebody, somebody is always there, and it's the same way. I try to be there as much as I can for the community. It's a growing community. It's getting large, but we do the best we can anyways. The big thing is trying to get the message out on the stream. You know, we have, as content creators, we have a very huge advantage. We have a worldwide audience at our disposal. What we choose to do with that worldwide audience is what makes the difference, right? So throw a little bit of positivity out there, try to throw some good messages out in every broadcast, and hopefully some of that starts catching on, you know, and that's all we can really try to do. But changing the world one sim race at a time is what we try to do here, and we have a lot of fun in the process, that's for sure. So a burn lap here on the second lap for Dudley. Not surprised to see that. Obviously he's going to charge that battery up, so we should see a pretty good cooking lap here on lap number 3. Now if we see him bail out at the end of this lap, that means he's not satisfied with it. He's probably recharging his batteries. So let's see what he's got here as we come into Lacombe, coming up to Kemmel Straight. He just about hit 179 there. We haven't seen any driver hit 179 there, but he's right on the top end of the pace of our top qualifiers here so far, and it's a 158.406. that is confirmed as our fastest lap here so far. Appreciate you, Leo. Appreciate you. You're gonna get canceled, yeah, no doubt, hey. As you guys, lol. That's why I call you chat. Alright, so coming in through Puon here, I mean, very, very, very little lift there. He just had a slight little lift and just a little touch of the brake to get the car to rotate there. But that braking was well under full throttle, so it was a little bit of a counterintuitive thing, but it kind of makes these LMP1 cars slide from the center, if that makes sense. It might make sense to some of us, it might not make any. It's just, it's a physics momentum shift, and the way these cars are built, it just throws the car around the corner slightly. Kind of helps give you a little free rotation, so to speak. The newbie is flying, says Chris. This guy is moving. I feel like I've seen him around in open lobbies and stuff before in the, throughout the community. I feel like the name is not unfamiliar, just seeing the PSN up on the screen, but he is moving. He is moving. We love it. Contender for that top division here right now, and he literally just registered here today, so you get a little bit of a wiggle coming into the second part of that chicane. It's going to cost him just a little bit of time there, but this is another quality lap coming from Dudley. It's a 59.228, so let's see if he takes that fourth lap, or let's see if he just pulls a J set and just ditches it here. It's going to be tough not having the battery here, but maybe he's got something up his sleeve. Let's wait and find out. He is going to take another run here, so he knows he's got one more crack. So we've got a 58.406 and a 59.228 counting here so far for Dudley, and I do believe that should put him on the top of our qualifying order here so far. That was a very nice lap. Were you broadcasting there, Pirate? That's awesome. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I wasn't even able to catch any of the race. I've been so busy here with qualifying and other commentary with other leagues, but can't wait to catch some of it back here. I've got all the videos posted up in the boys' chat there, so Alright, looks like Egon's going to be our next one out here. He's got into the paddock here, so they've wheeled that car out in the pit lane. And so it looks like Egon will be our next runner out. Now, I don't know anything about Dudley. I don't know if he's a controller driver. I don't know if he's just a wheel rig driver. I don't know if he's a VR wheel rig driver, but he looks real smooth. So that tells me that he's on a wheel and pedals at bare minimum. So I'm going to assume that he's a wheel and pedal driver, and he definitely understands an LMP1 car. So let's see what kind of lap he puts in here. He didn't have an opportunity to charge extra boost into this car, so he's really trying to manage it coming into corners and try not to overuse it coming out of the corners. And it's a tricky battle. So 58.4, he's 1.1 down. That puts him at a 59.5. He still does have a small amount of opportunity potentially here to catch up on that 59.228 with a really good chicane here out of Blochemont. So it's not all done here for him yet. He could still pick up that 4th lap here and improve it on this lap. He's not that far off. Needs a great chicane here, charging up that boost. He didn't get the wiggle there on the exit, but I think he's still going to be a little bit down, and is not by much at 159.455 here from Dudley. And we're just going to make sure that that is what we're seeing here on our screen. A fantastic run here from our newest registrant here today. Congratulations to him. That was a beauty of a qualifying session right there. And boy, talk about starting it off on the right wheel here. This man comes out and slates himself on the top of our qualifying charts unofficially. Congratulations, Dudley. Great run there from him. All right. Between Jaeger and me, we covered 16 hours of the 24, still wired. Oh, it must have been a great race. It must have been a great race. You like the Quattro 5, Chris? Yeah, that was pretty chill. That was pretty chill. Awesome, fantastic. We had confirmation from race control. We're moving and grooving. So it looks like the stream has settled down. That's fantastic. I figured it would be. Fantastic. Yeah, I've pulled some 24-hour broadcasts in the past very early on in my commentating days too. It's tough business. The racers definitely have their work cut out for them in these big long endurance races like that too. But they get a couple hour stints as commentators. We don't necessarily get that stint, so to speak. Oh, we have Egon having a reset there. So Egon is a VR driver. So we want the drivers to be running at full efficiency. We want the drivers to give 100% their all. Now, obviously, I know where everybody's sitting in qualifying right now, but we're not showing it this year. Now, we were updating our list as qualifying sessions were ending last season, but this season we've changed it up. We're not showing that qualifying list. We want the drivers to come in, and we just want the driver to full send it. We want them to give it their 110% because we're really trying to figure out their pace. We can't judge their GT3 pace in these LMP1 cars because they're completely different cars. We have already seen AM and Pro-Am drivers from last season at the top of the qualifying charts very early on in qualifying sessions. So you cannot determine a driver's pace from a GT3 car to an LMP1 car. You have to give them the proper opportunity to do so. Alright, Dudley, if you're watching the stream, my dude, I have a suspicion you may be tuning in. You want to pull your car off the track, please? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, my guy. Nice qualifying as well, dude. Absolutely well done. Very impressed. Can't wait to see you on track with the rest of the group. Rob coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. John coming in with the thumbs up as well on the stream. Appreciate y'all. I'm sad I missed it. We're gonna have to pull another big commentary here soon. We are definitely due for a big charity drive here at GT45 Gaming. So I think once the season is over, that's going to be our next priority project. Race control is on it. Race control, I love race control. And race control is efficient. When are you gonna join us on the comms team, man? We need your skills for the next races in April. You know, if I have time in my schedule, I'm willing to step in and definitely fill some stints. You know, just hit me up. That's I think I'm in the server. I don't know if I'm in their server over there, but I am in TTR's server and RA's server, so they're connected with them. So I'll hit up Evo and Ray, and I'll get a look at the schedule for the next race, and if I got some availability, man, I would like to come in and jump in on the booth for a while. That'd be fantastic, actually. All right, so Team Rad's Petrolhead is going to be our next qualifier on the night here, and he's a quick driver. This is a controller driver. So we're going to see how he does here. He's going to warm the tires up, and you know, this is the beautiful thing, right? GT7, you could race this game on your controller. You don't need to put the big investment into the wheel, the pedals, all the fancy gear. You can just have fun on controller. I'm going to tell you guys right now, controller drivers, our pad drivers that are watching right now going, oh, I can't do this because I'm on pad. There's just no way, man. I can't keep up with these guys. Watch this guy. Watch this guy. He's quick. Team Rad has an excellent team. They have a stacked driver field over there. Every one of their drivers is fast. I do have some free time becoming available there too in April, so there's a good possibility I can make something happen with that. He always is a beast. He always is that guy. You know, RA is a really well-established racing team as well. They're no joke either when they get on the racetrack and they're competing and they mean business. They're tough customers. They're tough customers. All right, so Petros, this is his out lap again. So the deal is the drivers are on racing soft tires. It's equal condition modes for the lobby. We've made it not super hot, but warm enough that the track temperatures hopefully right around 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. Optimal racing temperatures ideally for these Michelin tires. And then there's no wind. And the weather never changes. Basically, the clouds don't move. There's never a gust of wind. A blade of grass doesn't change. A marble on the race track doesn't change. Everything is as fair for every driver as it can be. The car that we're using for qualifying is the Audi R18 2016 edition LMP1 car. It has a battery boost assist. This car uses the battery very early on in the gears. It doesn't stop using battery until you hit 150 mile an hour, and then it usually settles that battery down. So charging the battery and keeping the battery maintained around Spa is absolutely crucial to getting that sub 2 minute lap around here. I have tried and tried and tried. I have yet to break the 2 minutes myself. So these guys coming in here smacking 159s and 158s, I tip my hat because whew, it's a feat. You got to really understand how to operate the boost system in this car. The car really is reliant on it for its exit speed and its get up and go. And if you don't have any battery there, it's got no get up and go. You're relying all on the motor. Now the motor has a ton of horsepower, but the motor is not enough to keep up to one of these cars that has that boost assist. It's like a super injection of NOS without having NOS in the car essentially. These electric boost systems in these LMP1 cars, these new hypercars, they are no joke. How they operate and how they charge is absolutely cool and fantastic. And I wish I understood a little more about the newer edition cars, but I know in these style of cars, there's a couple of different ways that that it charges. So the output goes in, and that's to get the car to launch, take off, and go right away, get up to top speed, so it stops using that hybrid assist. The only way to charge the hybrid assist in this particular car now in real life would be to drag your brakes a little bit or longer braking zones into corners, so maybe braking 25 meters sooner but using less brake pressure. You're building a little more boost power in there. Also by doing that, you're going to maintain more apex speed. You're also probably going to save a little bit of tire, so when you come out of the corner, you know, maybe you have an extra 3-4-5% boost in your battery. Now if you can manage that on your exit, then that's going to relate to extremely quicker rate of speed on these long straightaways, which is going to relate to time gained on the track. So we got a 2-minute 4:16 here right now from Petrol on his first lap, and I don't know if that was a full out flying lap here. He's got a decent amount of boost as he came through the source there, but he's drained that battery. You can see how quickly that battery drains. So essentially under braking, what happens is it creates friction, and that friction has sensors built into the tires, right? So when the car's under braking and it's creating that friction creates that static electricity. That static electricity is collected up into these capacitors, and that transfers through into the battery, and that's what recharges the battery hybrid assist in this particular car. It's really cool. There's some YouTube videos on it. I will try to track down the links for them. I haven't watched them in quite some time, but they really break down how the boost system in this particular car worked in real life. And essentially GT7 tries to be as realistic as they can with the car performance, so I would assume that the boost doesn't work a whole lot differently in this car. Now, in addition to that, brake bias, it can affect boost charging in the car here in the game as well. There's a couple of other factors that play in, but that's what I know of for sure in the car. And you know, a little bit of real life information does relate to GT7, whether we want to believe it or not, because you know, these cars are real life scanned, the tracks are real life scanned. You know, at the time that they're scanned, you know, the tire marks and the writing on the walls and whatever is on the racetrack at the time it's scanned, that is what we see in the game. So I mean, they are 100% accurate in the detail, the shape, and every part of the car. So now the trick for them is to code in the horsepower, the tuning, what the car acts like. I can't even imagine the amount of hours that goes in just to get one car performing properly and as realistically as you can. You know, nobody's ever going to get it perfect, unfortunately. It's a video game. We are still at the limits of technology, but I think they've done a pretty good job here at GT7, and you know, huge shout out to them, because I enjoy playing on the platform, and our racers love racing on the platform. So even with its little faux pas that we have to deal with, you know what, overall it's still a good solid 7.5 out of 10 for me. It has room for improvement, that's why we give it a 7.5 out of 10, but you know what, it's provided great content for the last 3 years for GT45 Gaming, and it has a great future for GT45 Gaming moving forward, that's for sure. Alright, so that was a squash lap. He was making some charge up. He was working on the boost battery here, so a 206.7, so we're going to see a flyer here, and it's going to be interesting to see how he manages it now. Let's see what Petrolhead from Team Rad here can do over the next lap. 11 seconds to 55. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Back in the day, I was very fast on controller on GT3 and 4. Always wonder if I'd be faster on wheel, but I was still beating a lot of the real people's times. Hey, you know, GT's just been a fun game. 26 years now. Pretty impressive run. That's why we do comms, man. These guys race, we talk. Hey, facts. True story right there. Alright, so Petrolhead rocking and rolling here on his third of 4 hot laps. Again, we're taking their best 2 times. We're all combining that total, and that is going to be how we're going to determine where the placement's going to go on these guys. We've given them just enough time to figure out how to charge the battery in these cars. We didn't tell them that's what we were up to with the 4 laps when we set the qualifier up, but I tell you, these racers are on the ball. They're smart. They're on to us, and they have figured out how to get the times in these cars. How's it going, boss man? Hi, everyone. You got knocked out, Jay. The new guy came in and smoked you. He's got you by a good half second. Dudley coming in and taking over that top spot here in qualifying so far in the GT45 Prototype Challenge. Impressive run by Dudley. Alright, so here comes Petrolhead. He is cooking here. 155 on the line on the exit is going to be a sub 2. Yeah, okay, so we're seeing a sub 2 here. How sub 2? Oh, beauty lap. 158.381 from Team Rad's Petrolhead. And there we go. Controller drivers. Look at that. That is the second fastest recorded qualifying time here so far in the GT45 Prototype Challenge qualifying sessions. Very well done here by Rad Petrolhead. He is on a controller. Don't give up your faith, controller drivers. You can do it. It can be done. These PS5 controllers do make it a lot better. Just got to find these guys like Petrolhead that are crazy fast, top tier racers, and let them teach you. Absolutely great run here by Petrolhead. Fantastic. This is a squash lap here for him. He's not he's not pushing here at all. He knows that this isn't going to be that 58.3, and we're going to let him cross the line before we take the screenshot here. So you knew it would happen. I knew it would happen too. Impressive times. This is going to be 2 very tight divisions here. Wow. So far we're separated by I'm going to say less than a second from first to ninth place right now in qualifying, just off the top of my head unofficially. So it is tight, and it's only going to tighten up here as drivers start to come in and really knock out laps. That's the fastest time so far. Oh, Miss D coming in. There it is. That's right, you're right. It is the fastest lap right in front of my eyes. However, though, the 2-minute .4 is not necessarily going to put him top qualifier here. That puts him very close in competition with Dudley and Jay said here at the top of the field right now. So where that places him is hard to say. He's got about half a second on that fastest lap there. On the first lap there. That's just, he could really use a sub 2-minute lap there to really keep him in the conversation here. But I don't think he's going to get it. He's just chilling here. I mean, he's just coming around to take the checkered flag, follow the protocol. So GG's to Petrolhead. That was an incredible lap right there from him. And you know, he tried it on that first one. He just didn't get the run, and he's just gonna stamp it off with a nice little finisher at the end of the race. Just for the record, you do that during competition, that's a big penalty. When we let it slide in qualifying, big penalty in racing competition. Just a heads up. All right, so I don't think that's the fastest overall qualifying time, but combined time, but that's definitely the fastest lap recorded in qualifying here from Team Rad's Petrolhead. So Team Rad's Petrolhead in the conversation for top qualifier as it sits right now unofficially. GG's. Woo. These drivers are cooking, chat. These drivers are cooking. This man is a very nice man. I've had a lot of opportunity to interview him in podiums in other leagues, and he had a good message on Saturday after a podium finish in a league from the Gran Turismo racing community, league that we hold very dear to our heart here at GT45 Gaming. We've been commentating for them for I think 3 years now. I think this is like 8 or 9 seasons now we've been down with that group, and you know, he always just says it's free and costs nothing to be nice. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely outstanding gentleman, this guy. Thumbs up for us pad drivers. That's right, John. You know it. that was a cooker. All right, so it's going to be Egon next up here. We do have a UK driver coming in to qualify, so I think he's getting pushed ahead here a little bit because of well, what time it is there. I mean, we're looking at it's almost 2 a.m. there right now, so we want to get Doug through. I'm really happy to see Doug competing this season. Now, he's just in as a substitute driver, but the substitutes do still need to obviously qualify. We need to know which division that they're going to be reserving for. That does matter as well this season. The points matter for that, so there's some logistics involved with that. So all our reserves do need to qualify as well. So whether you're a full-time driver or a substitute driver for the series, qualification is mandatory, and you do not get on the racetrack until you qualify. So Doug is, again, it's almost 2 in the morning for Doug, and you know, he's he only goes when he's feeling good, and he must be feeling good right now, so we want to definitely get Doug through. So much love to Doug. Love to see that he's here, and let's see what he's got, because he is also a pad driver. Here we go with the pad drivers again, and he's also a Team Rad driver. So his teammate just went in and threw a blazer down, and this guy's just as quick. So let's see what Doug has in store for us here today. It's 12:30 a.m. in the UK. 12:30. Oh, okay. Ah, right. Time change hasn't taken effect there yet. That's right. That's right. And I thought it said 6:30 on my clock. Egon, my guy, you gotta leave the pits, bud. You don't want to be in the pits that long and then go out on those greasy old cold tires anyway. He thinks he's qualifying. We gotta let Doug go first, Egon. If you're listening, brother. I don't know if he's listening. He's got his headset, VR headset on, so he probably isn't watching the stream right now. Look how cold my Racing Soft tires are in my car right now. They are ice cold. This is great. This is great. Race control and the drivers are just having a little Rochambeau. Alright, let's just send Egon out. Doug is still right here, so again, race control is following procedure, and that's what we expect out of the race control. So the race control is always doing a fantastic job. And alright, there we go. We got it sorted. We got it sorted. Egon's in the VR, so remember, keeping in mind for us that use VR, know that it has limitations, right? You can only see so much, so Egon may not have been able to see the messages. Who knows what's going on there, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. So we got Doug Burrow coming out here next, and then I'm assuming it's Egon. I'm not sure. Race control has it under control here, but poor Egon just wanted to reset his equipment, and then he got stepped to the back of the line. So that's the way it goes. First come, first serve here. And boy, look at that livery. Oh my. This guy is a livery guru himself as well. He does a lot of livery designs for the Gran Turismo racing community, which he's an administration official for. He's one of the head guys over there that does a lot of the help at the setup and the design of all those great series over there. Woo! And a little bit of a spicy exit there from Doug. So again, outlap, and he's just probably getting a feel for the lobby conditions. Now, I mean, they should be the same from one lobby to the next, and he's just trying to really rev that car up. He's really trying to get the heat in the tires. You've seen him, he really smashed the throttle there, spin those tires up a little bit, burn off a little bit of that smooth rubber and get some texture into those racing soft tires. So here we go. Now he's going to start to get a little bit of flying lap going here. Again, just get the rhythm of the racetrack down at high speed, and then we'll see him absolutely send it here over the next 4 laps. So let's go. Alright, while we're doing that, we're going to go check on everything that's happening here on the platforms. It seems like the YouTube dashboard just kills the streams. I can turn it on once the stream settles in, but until then, it just doesn't want to play nice. Alright, so you can see him charging up the boost here. We've seen that from several of our drivers today. That's nothing unusual. If we're getting a little skipping in the stream, it's just because I'm opening a window up in my computer right now. Don't mind me. So here we go, flying lap. Let's see what he's got for us today. Alright. The biggest reason why I need a dashboard up is so I can tag Gran Turismo in it, because it matters for the algorithm. And you can see it's definitely YouTube that's causing the issue for sure. Alright. I'm done doing what I was doing there, so we shouldn't have any more complications on that front. There we go. Rock and roll, let's keep it moving. Alright, good night, Black Flag. Have a good night, dude. Appreciate you, my guy. Yeah, hit me up. Alright, so Doug Burrow's coming around the no-name corner. Pardon me, that we've determined it after last night. Amply named by Larry Birch. Heading into Pouon here, because I'm pretty sure it has a name, but I just can't remember what it is. And Doug was on the limit of all that corner, and that's where you need to be to really maximize the corner. So, great line through there. Got a great run there through Pouon. He's tightened up that apex here. Boy, he's looking pretty solid here. He's a little bit left to right with the controller, but you expect to see that out of our controller drivers from time to time. A little bit of wiggle in the controller just means he's running a little bit of a higher sensitivity. And as he comes into the Paul Frere curve there, oof, it was close to dipping the tire there. I think he realized that. I think he just checked up the throttle just a titch right there. And unfortunately, it's going to be a wasted boost injection on that car. But let's see what he's got here as he comes around into Blochemont and roars up the track here in towards the chicane. He's looking good. He's on par here. He's on point with the rest of the guys here. It looks like we're at a 54. We're at a 57. It's going to be about a 2-minute here. Going to see a 2-minute lap here. 159.762 for lap number 1 here from Doug Burrows. So Team Rad drivers, I told you they're quick. These guys are quick drivers. VR needs team radio. I agree, Egon. I agree. I agree, buddy. We have a couple VR drivers over here at the Ten Tenths Clubhouse, so I'm sure that they will continue to improve that system. It looks like it's getting very popular, and I think really for Sony, it's a matter to see if how many units are going to sell, and if they realize that they're on target for amount of units that they're going to sell. I think that we're going to see some huge improvements to the VR system, and I think that VR is going to become a big player in games like Gran Turismo. I think that it's going to create a whole new esports avenue as well for Sony and for PlayStation. So the possibilities in the VR2 equipment is definitely there. Whether or not, or what their plans are with it, I guess is yet to be seen, but definitely looks like it has a bright future, and I'm excited to see what else that they can bring to it, because I don't think they've even touched what the potential in that system is in combination with the great PlayStation 5 system. I think that yeah, they're just scratching the surface in this VR setup here. So hopefully they continue to make those great leaps and bounds and improvements with it. Alright, so this will probably be just more of a squash lap here from Doug. I'm not sure what his strategy is in comparison to the rest of the drivers, but he's actually up on that 159.762. So I don't know what he knows compared to the rest of the drivers, but right now he is not worried about that battery and dropping pretty consistent 59 laps here, it seems like. So let's see what he's got as he comes around Blois-Chamont. And let's see what he ends up with here as we come through the chicane for the second time out of 4 attempts here. And again, we're taking the 2 fastest laps, combining them together for a total time, and that is how we're going to place our drivers this season. And boy, the consistency right there is incredible. 159.626 coming here from Doug Burrow. And this is the first driver we've seen not super concerned about giving a heavy battery charge leading into the home straight, leading into La Source. This is a driver who's just got a plan and he's sticking with it. So we see him going back and forth with the tires a little bit there, heading into Eau Rouge. I think that this is going to be a squash lap, and I think we're going to see the flyer on the final lap here. That little bit of wiggle, that little bit of left to right movement from the driver, intentionally of course, is just a way to warp the tires up a little bit more, try to build air pressure in the tires, try to keep them at a certain temperature. It depends on the situation, but that would also cost you time when you do that. It costs you, sometimes a tenth, sometimes half a tenth, but when you're this close in your lap times, those half tenths really make a big difference. So let's see what Doug Burrow has here. Again, we are in the Audi R18 2016 edition LMP1 race car, and boy, this is a pretty well-known race car in the real-world racing circuit back in its time. So, and it's got a pretty crazy boost system in it that was fairly revolutionary in its time as well. So, it's an interesting car. Interesting car. And it's going to be our first car displayed here at GT45 Gaming in cooperation with the amazing platform provided to us by Gran Turismo 7 and Polyphony Digital. So huge shout out to those guys as always. Can't do it without their great sim platform to race on, that's for sure. Alright, so let's see what Doug has here. Now again, I think this was a squash lap. I think he was just really kind of utilizing this lap to try and build up a little bit more heat in the tires here. Yep, there we go, building some battery up. Here we go. We are going to see a full send final lap coming from Doug Burrow here, and our second team rad driver to go here tonight. Love seeing that mind on the side of the car. Absolute love that. Great charity there in the United Kingdom. If you don't know anything about it, definitely go check it out, guys. Huge mental health organization. Great organization. Alright, coming down through La Source for the final time here in qualifying. We're hitting Eau Rouge, moving up into L'Arrêtion, and up to the Camel Straight. Absolutely great run through there. He's 76, 78, 77, 78. Just nips into the 78 there. Kind of bouncing back and forth. So he's on par. 0.8 of a second up on that 59.7 currently. So that puts him at a 58, high 58 at the moment. Let's see what he has at our next live timing sector that they show us. The drivers, I think, get 5 total sector timing. I think we get 3 here in spectator mode. So we should see one somewhere around the Pouan here. And then we should see one entering the Paul Frere curve. So let's see what he's got here as we're coming into, I believe, the next live timing sector around Pouan here. He's got a nice clean exit, keeping a tight line there. He missed the apex a little bit there, but good clean exit. As we head into campus here, he is looking pretty solid, and the game is not wanting to give up that information freely today. But we are going to hit a live timing sector right here before the Paul Frere curve, so let's see where he's at on that sector once we come through. And he's still 3/4 of a second up, so he's still in that 58 range here currently as we head up into the Paul Frere curve. And that's leading us into Blochemont here. So big, long, high-speed run. Not even lifting a stitch on this corner in Blochemont. You just want to get the angle right, carry it through, and hard on the brakes here coming into the chicane. Not trying to lose any time here right now. Great exit out of the chicane, and there we go. 58 is coming up right here for Doug Barrow, and it was a good one. It's a 58.633 coming from Team Rad's Doug Barrow, so it's going to be a 158.633 and a 159.626 lap number 2, and lap number 4 are Doug Barrow's fastest laps. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Oof. And Doug Barrow coming in, cooking off a quick qualifying session. First diesel to win Le Mans? Absolutely, Chris. You know it, brother. I remember when those Audis were dominant for a string of seasons. For real, they really were. It was an epic car in its time, without a question of a doubt. So I'm glad that we're going to display it here. We're displaying 4 really great cars. They all have their own history, that's for sure. And the All-Star race, well, we're displaying a car with a very rich history. So good job, Doug. Appreciate you, my dude. Great qualifying times, my man. Oh, yes, very fast. So, again, just another driver to plug up that top that top 10 area right now, and it just, like I said, I think we're going to be splitting hairs here when it comes down to our full-out qualifying times from our drivers this season. Wow, they are on it. They have answered the call to the prototypes. Is magnifique. I am Canadian. I do actually have French heritage in my bloodline as well on my mom's side of the family, dad's side of the family, pardon me. So my dad's side of the family is very strong French Canadian. I think my dad's dad is actually from Quebec, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit of French heritage there. I don't speak very much French. I took Spanish in high school because it was an option. I struggled with French leading through middle school, so I decided to take Spanish. And although the 2 languages, in all honesty, aren't that different, they are. And I don't know, Spanish just was a little easier to understand for me, I guess. But you know, and as I get older now, I feel like I should be a little more in touch with my own Canadian heritage a little bit. So, you know, we might start trying to pick up a little more French as time goes on in life here. But I think it's important as a commentator to have a little bit more broader range. I mean, we have drivers that don't get to do podium interviews because, you know, they speak French or they speak Spanish or they don't speak very good English, right? So it would be nice to be able to have a little bit more leeway to talk with some of our drivers. You know, the podium interviews, you know, the drivers enjoy it just as much as the fans, I think, and I think that it would be great to just have a little more range, or have members of the community that are fluent in other languages to be there to do the translation. You know, I think that would be a really fantastic step in the right direction for podium interviews, but it's tough. It's tough to find the community members that are available at the right time that are, you know, fluent and can actually be there to do it as well, right? So yeah, but, you know, we do our best. That's all we can do. Heavy hitters showing out tonight, huh? Well, I mean, it looks that way, but, you know, the funny thing is we still haven't seen a lot of our, you know, pro tier last season drivers even touch the track yet. So it's hard to, I don't even know what to expect anymore, Chris. I really don't. I thought the 58s were going to be the limit. These guys are almost in the 57s here at the top end of these times. So I don't even know where to begin. All right, so we've got TTE going here. So 10 Tenths representative driver here this season on track as well. And he is in that VR2. So we seen one of the Race Asylum drivers last night qualify. JP, their absolute legendary paint guru over there, came in and put down a great qualifying run himself. Is also in the VR2 headset this season. So we do have a good amount of headset driver, VR2 headset drivers here this season. Miss Devious will also be one of our VR2 competitors here this season, and I'm sure there's more out there. I'm just not aware of who they are yet. Oh, big slide there as he tried to get down on the power here to get the big run. Hopefully that doesn't cost him too much battery buildup there as he heads into the source for the first time. So every driver has their different strategy here, and he gets a good straight line run out of the source. I think he might have just overshot that corner slightly more than he wanted to there. I'm not sure, but got a good power down run out of there. So as we head up and through Laurentian and Rouge and Laurentian, pardon me, for the first time here in qualifying, he is now up to Kemmel Straight. So let's see what the first lap has. The first lap is fairly the first lap is a pretty good indicator of what we should expect to see from each driver, it seems like, here in qualifying so far in our early qualifying sessions for our season. I absolutely love my one vacation in Old Quebec, stayed at a place a couple blocks from, oh, okay, Frontenac. It was nice outside the wall as well. Yeah, I hear Quebec is a beautiful place, Montreal especially. Lots of really old architecture and a lot of, it's rich in history. It really is. It really is. I haven't been myself, but you know, ignorant Canadian doesn't speak any French, right? Yeah, one of those things. Let's put it that way. I don't know many words in French either. I know very few actually. It's quite surprising. I just did not retain it. I think now I probably could. I think I have a more open mind now, and I think that maybe is some of the issue. Maybe I didn't have such an open mind when I was younger as I do now. But, you know, I think I could probably pick it up a little easier now. But languages are tough. You know, there's a lot to know. There's a lot to know. There's different dialects. You know, I can imagine what it's like trying to learn English. We've taken the language and just butchered it to the point where it's not even a language anymore. It's just a book of acronyms. So, all right, I don't think Egon was satisfied with what he had going on there in lap number 1, so I think he's squashing this lap. And we're going to see him come across with about a 206, which is pretty typical of the guys that we've seen squashing a lap. So I don't think he was happy with the timing sector, the last timing sector he came up to. And much better exit out of the source there. So already he's easily up half a second right there. That was a much more race line through La Source in his first attempt there. And again, he was still on fairly semi-cold racing tires on that first lap. So most of the drivers have been able to handle that situation fairly well, but Egon, you know, he realized, you know what, I'm going to recharge my batteries. I'm going to do this again because I can get the good lap on lap number 2. I can chalk lap number 3 if I need to rebuild the car up, and then I can go and send it on lap number 4. So good strategy call here by Egon. He kind of called an audible in the car right there, but very good awareness of the situation around the racetrack. I mean, that's the first qualifier we've seen be super hyper aware of his live timing sectors and make a decision based off that final live timing sector. So that was interesting. I enjoy seeing that. Arrête. Yeah. I don't even know if the T even makes a sound. It could be silent, but it's funny. I giggle. I see stop signs, double-sided stop signs every once in a while in certain places that have stop on the one side and arrête on the other side. Yeah. I think seeing French words, when I see French words, I can maybe decipher them a little easier. But trying to speak them off memory. All right, so we're in about the 204 range at the moment here from Egon, and he doesn't have a choice. He's got to send this one around. He's got to clock in a better than 206 lap here for his qualifying. So we're going to see him send this one around. We might see a little attempt at a battery charge here coming into the chicane, maybe just for a little extra boop on the exit, but he's just going to get this lap done. It's going to be a 201 here, 201.364. So there we go, 201.364. Just making sure that's what we're seeing here, obviously. And for those of us that are operating leagues or commentators or doing qualifying sessions like this, and you're not sure if you're getting the accurate timing, so what we do here at GT45 Gaming is, you can see we have both the host and our administrator's cars on pit lane. So what that does is, if I'm not sure if I'm seeing the time correctly, I just flip to one of the two cars in pit lane and go directly back to the driver I want to check their time on, and it will reset to the accurate timing. So that is one way to work around the timing issues that happen in the game in certain situations, and it works every time. It works every time. So, little workaround tip for all of our friendly league organizers out there and our commentators and everybody that needs that information, because it's very useful information. It makes life a lot simpler, that's for sure. Thanks for the opportunity, guys. That was fun. Did better than I thought I would. Nice laps, Doug. Nice laps, my guy. That's going to put you at the top end of the field currently as it sits right now. So not on the top, but in the top end for sure. Great laps, buddy. Good laps. Nice to see you out there, man. You look good. Alright, so what has Egon got going on here in lap number 3? I mean, clearly he had a strategy. He didn't like whatever was going on in lap number 1. That was clear and evident, because he just chalked it to boost up that battery. So it's really hard to say what he's going to do here in this lap. We'll probably get a good run, Doug. Appreciate you, Jay. It's going to be interesting to see what he chooses to do here at the end of this lap, because we've seen the drivers kind of check up here leading into, okay, so yeah, no, he is going to build the boost again. All right, so one more flying lap coming here from Egon, and I wasn't sure what he was up to there. I wasn't sure if he was going to build the boost up and try to have a big sender here, but you can see car ghosting like that is just because they're under a certain mile per hour, so it's a safety feature in the game that turns into ghosting. I think I have ghosting turned on weak for that reason. I'm not sure why. Of course I have it. But it does give us an indication that the driver is below what the racetrack deems as safety car speed. So the bottom end speed you should be running on the racetrack in this particular car. And I mean, in all honesty, at 45 miles per hour, these cars do not run that well anyways. They need to be running at about 80 to 100 miles per hour to be maintaining a certain temperature. In other words, they get too hot, or they build up too much oil pressure, and that could be dangerous in these cars. It could be catastrophic failure and game over for that week. So nobody wants to be rebuilding an LMP1 engine in between race weekends, that's for sure. Got Chris coming in with that thumbs up on the stream as well. Much love, my guys. I see everybody over there. Welcome in. Appreciate all those reactions over on the channels. Welcome in, Kick. We see you there. Kick is a very quiet platform, that's for sure, but that's alright. Alright, so Egon coming around here, and he is in that chrome style, martini style livery here. That's his jam. He loves that martini style livery here, Mr. Egon. So you always know Egon's on track. He always has a variation of it, and you know it's chrome. And when I see it, I just know it's Egon. We are hosting through SimLeague Pro this season as well here at GT45 Gaming. SimLeague Pro is a host site that allows league organizers like myself in GT7, ACC, iRacing, F1, Grid Legends, pretty much any sim out there available right now for console gaming, to host leagues, have an opportunity to run your standings, penalty systems and everything right through that host league. And it's kind of an all-in-one stop shop for leagues, and it really does alleviate a lot of extra logistical pressure doing everything via graphics and having to take all that extra time to build it. And it's a 201.970 for our final lap here from Egon, and we're just going to make sure we get our screenshots here. Alright, so great run there from Egon. Why won't you zoom? I want to zoom in on the car. Alright, so while race control does their verification process, we're going to hang out and do our thing here on the stream. Alright, so our third Ten Tenths representing driver here has gone through, and we're going to see potentially what looks to be our first Division 2 Ten Tenths driver here. So we have a very large diverse group at Ten Tenths. We have drivers right down from brand new drivers that are still learning to sim race and learning the whole deal with Gran Turismo, right up to A+ drivers with TT Pigums and TT's Badass as well, who's getting back into the sim racing circuit here ever so slowly. We've seen him there in the TT Cup series over at Gran Turismo Racing Community. He is entered into this series as well, so I would imagine we'll see him qualifying probably next weekend. Good job, Egon. Nice run, brother. So yeah, we're gonna see the TT drivers in both our splits here this season, and that's what we love to see. So again, maybe a little pressure built up on the drivers because we're presenting the series and they just want to do well. But you know what? It's all about going out and having fun, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. So good job there, and I agree. I do agree with Miss Devious there. It is lap 3 and 5. Well, okay, 2 and 4, however you want to look at it. Let me go back and double check my shot here. Two 201.364, 201.970. Yeah, race control is you can exit the track. All right. I think she meant lap 2 and 4, Egon. Here, hold on. If you're listening, Egon, I'll just bring that back up one more time. Oh, never mind. He heard it. We got lap 2 and 4, Egon. 2:2:01 is your fastest laps here on the stream. The 2 and 4, 3 and 5. 3 and 5 being including the out lap, 2 and 4 not including the out lap. Little, yeah. Each driver's different on how they interpret that. All right, so what is that? Our fourth driver, fifth driver that has qualified here tonight already. So we are moving, we're grooving, we love it. Ah, beautiful. All right. Is that all our check-ins? I need my phone. I don't want to open Discord on a computer. I don't want to tax it any further. Let's bring Discord up on the old telly here. Got some messages. There it is. Check in. All right, so who's scheduled to be here tonight on via our check-in? Ooh, hello. Oh, Super Blunt, if you're listening, Miss D, I know you're listening, is not going to be able to make it tonight because he got called into work. So he's going to try for next weekend. But I think I'm also going to potentially open up an additional lobby tomorrow night as per request from a couple of the drivers. I'll figure that out more next week. I think what we're seeing coming up on the right hand side of the screen there is actually the design, the overlay design makers logo, if I'm not mistaken. I keep seeing that pop up on the stream every once in a while and I don't know how to get rid of it. You got it? Yeah, you got a screenshot or just record that game session. You got it. It's on the live stream. You can just rewind it back and take a peek there. But yeah, we got you at a 201.3 something and a 201.9. Chris Reeves coming in with the Facebook support again. God, what is that now, Chris? That's got to be 18 months supported here over on the Facebook channel. Plus, it doesn't tell me for some reason on my dashboard. It used to. It doesn't anymore. Let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't even come up. Pretty sure it's 18 months minimum here. So much love, my dude. Hashtag Chris up in the chats would be great, everybody. Coming in with that Facebook support. Extra level of support there coming from the Reeves family. Really do appreciate that, you guys. All right. So, got an empty track here. I can't see my check-in list. I should have probably looked at that before the check-in disappeared. But yeah, it is what it is. We've got 12 drivers qualified yesterday, and I believe that was driver number 5 today. So I think we're at 17 out of our, I believe, 28 drivers, 29 with the new registrant today, who came in like a shot, by the way. I think he still is our top qualifier unofficially, without confirmation. And again, we're not showing the qualifying times. I don't want to... I found when we do this and we have qualifying over a 2 or 3 week period, I find that drivers will wait to see what all the times are and they'll purposely push to try and just beat the best time. And that's all fine and dandy, but what we want you to do is go out and show us your pace. We don't want you to be trying to beat somebody else's time. I want to see what your pace is, and that's why we're not displaying the times after each qualifying session this season at the end of the month, at March 31st, when all the official qualifying times need to be in for our full-time drivers. That's when we're going to release that qualifying list. That list is not indicative of the division split, which drivers have taken the mistake of at times. They just split it based off the numbers, and they think that that's the division. That's not what we're looking at. We have a four-step system that we're looking at to split our divisions for these championships. So it'll be about 48 hours after the time that we release unofficial results. The official qualifying results, pardon me, that we will place those division placements, and then the drivers can correct the color-coded 16 drivers qualified. Thank you, Misty. Color-coded decals required for the livery requirements. So, I mean, most of the drivers have already built the liveries. They've got just the one available decal that is there right now. That is our Pro decal. Once we have finished qualifying, we'll release that Pro Am decal as well. And if we have more than the two divisions, then we'll release our Am division decal as well. So a few things are depending on the driver numbers here for the series. We have a team championship designed into the series without the three division split. We're potentially going to just eliminate the team championship this season from this championship or modify it. We will decide that once again we have a more solidified set of driver numbers, but we're still early yet. The season does not start for another 21 days. So we're 3 weeks away from season start. So we got time. There's no rush. That allows time for drivers to come in and qualify late as well, late registrants and stuff like that. My phone just literally scared the living bejesus out of me. Whew. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, all right. 16 drivers qualified. I love that. All right, so we're halfway. We're a little over halfway right now with what we have registered. So over the next basically 3 or 4 days in between work and streaming, I'm going to be working on the back end. We're going to get Sim League Pro full set up for the season. So we're going to get the rest of our race schedule set up. I have a couple more questions for our Sim League host over there. And it's not anything wrong with the website. It's just I'm a dummy, and there's a couple things I have to figure out yet. So it's just easier to ask and get the answers and just move on past it because we have a lot to do still. But yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to the season. I know I'm excited now that we've got the drivers out on track, putting in their paces, showing that they've really got a good handle on these cars. I have great hopes that we're in for our most epic season ever broadcast here at GT45 Gaming. There's a lot on the line there. I mean, we have done very well with other organizations, series and events that we've hosted here in the North American side of things. Like I said, our DMJ Vroom Room partners, absolutely fantastic series, huge popularity here. We even still have members asking when the next one's coming. Right now, I can't answer that question, actually. I haven't talked to them in a little while, but maybe it's next. We don't know yet. We just don't know yet. Maybe it's next. So, maybe we got something coming mid-season. We haven't quite decided, but what we do know is that we're definitely going to be shortening the time between championships. We're going to try and rock out 3 championships, 3 big ones to see a year is the goal here moving forward. So we're a little late this year to hit that target. I think we're only going to get 2 through this year, but 2 majors anyways. We're going to try and shoot for 3 major championships next season through the calendar year. So we're going to try and shrink the gap in between the big championships. In the meantime, we're going to try and have maybe some open lobby drop-in stuff and stuff like that that'll be posted through Sim League Pro. Maybe we might have one-off events on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, just randomly, stuff like that as well. So lots of great ideas and lots of things brewing in behind the scenes. But right now, the whole focus is on this right here. This is our baby. We've been brewing this thing for, like I said, half a year now. So it's a little vindicating to finally get it out there and have it actually in motion. And thank you to the driver community for coming and testing your metal against these absolutely crazy cars, because if I wasn't broadcasting this series, I would be behind the wheel racing the series myself. These cars are a blast. So, and if it goes well and the high downforce is in demand again, we'll bring a season 2 with a different setup, different style of car, it's something we don't know yet. It's really gonna we're winging it here for the first little bit. We want to see how this starts off and kicks off. So hey, appreciate it. Thanks, Misty and Tim. I gotta go. I'll catch the end tomorrow. Yeah, you're all good, Doug. I hope you have a good night, my man. I know it's getting late there. No falling. Nice and easy, big guy. We love you, Dougie. And remember, the blue is not pen. Okay, that the pen is not blue. Man, I am messed up today. My brain is just misfiring. The pen is not blue. The pen is not blue. Oh, ATK Motorsports up in the house, returning driver from previous DMJ Choose Your Weapon seasons, and Roving Island World Tour here is ATK's Death here tonight as well. I remember he was qualifying tonight now, that's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving. Oh, we got another one popped in here. I bet you these guys were all in the same lobby together. Evening, Death. Appreciate you. Ginger up in the house. Another 10 Tenths representative here tonight. Can't wait to see what kind of livery he's gonna bust out. You never know with Ginger. He's always got an idea for paint. That is for sure. All right, so looks like we're gonna have Death. Yep, it is Death coming out here. He was first in the lobby, so it is a first come first serve basis. So this is going to be our 17th driver to run here in qualifying session number 2 this season. We have 2 more sessions next Sunday, and like I said, I may open a session tomorrow night. I'll make that announcement in the Discord server if that's going to happen in the morning, as request from a couple of drivers. Off the top of my head, again, I can't remember which driver it is. I have had a lot going on today. It's been a busy day. It's been a very busy day today. Just love watching those Audis zip by in pit lane. It's a beaut. It's a beaut. It's royal blue. Oh, come on. you laying down what we putting down. You picking up what we putting down, Chris. That a boy. Oh, and this guy has been working on this livery for like 3 weeks. All right, so we are going to get a great shot of this livery as soon as we get an opportunity. All right. Yeah, he has been working hard on this livery. He keeps posting little teasers about the livery all the time in the Discord server. So let's check this bad boy out. We got some skull and crossbones in there. We got some skulls up in there. All right, what else we got rocking and rolling? We're looking. We're checking it out. I'm sure there's all kinds of hidden little things in this livery. Attack Motorsports on the rear bumper there. Something designs on the front. I'm assuming that's something to do with his design work. I don't know what that little green guy in on the back is there. I'm still trying to pick that up. Ah, it's a little alien. Love it. Love it. Alright, so let's get the right information up on the screen because I forgot I was not on track anymore. Alright. And let's see what ATK's Death has here for us. So what do we have? We're going to have... the lobby is going to stay open for as long as needed today to a point. I'm probably going to put a 3-hour window on this lobby at maximum tonight. I still have so much other things I need to do. I also need to get some practice for my upcoming race this weekend as well. It's a 2-hour endurance race and you know, a few minutes, 10-minute cram session pre-race isn't going to do it here, as I'm going to end up in Division 1 this week, I think. So, yeah, I got to put a little bit of work in for my own racing here as well, but I only have 2 rounds left in that championship, so we're getting near the end there. I'm not in contention there. I missed 5 rounds of the season for commentary obligations, but yeah, we're having fun. It's nice to get back into competition myself here. Like I said, you know, I don't get a lot of opportunity to get behind the wheel. And when I do, it's usually just for the community, open lobby nights and stuff like that, or for the team, trying to get them ready for a race weekend, whatever league it may be that we're competing in that next, whatever the next race is, essentially. So I don't get a lot of time to compete myself. So we jumped into a league over the last 4 months. It's been a long season, but we jumped into it because it had room for me to miss 5 weeks and still come back and race as a full-time driver. So I appreciate that, definitely appreciate that, and it's given me a great opportunity to see where I'm at with my race pace, my race craft, my skill, my thought processing while I'm on track. We had a pretty rough race last time around. We kept it together while on track. Boy, we kind of really had a hard shakedown afterwards, just trying to process everything that happened in the race, and it is what it is. Now we're focused forward on the next round, but so yeah, it's nice to get some seat time myself as well. We're going to be looking to do that a little bit more often here. I'm eliminate some of the commentary obligations and open up a little bit more room in my schedule to compete with the team, of course, and help represent the team. So, yeah, but yeah, we're enjoying ourselves. It's just nice to know that I still got a little bit of pace in me, anyways, and we can still compete with some of the faster drivers. We don't beat them, but we can race with them, and to me that's an improvement where I was a year ago or even 2 years ago since the last time I actually competed. You know, we were in low divisions fighting for the podiums a lot, which was great for confidence, but, you know, we wanted to be up in those higher divisions to really see where we stood, and we're getting that opportunity this season, and we know where we stand, so that's what matters the most. All right, flying lap number 1 here from ATK Death. Let's see what he's got. It's a 159.172. I'm just going to make sure that's what we're seeing. It's a 159.172, so a great first flying lap here from ATK's Death. And boy, these times, they're no joke. You know, the first few guys went out and they were the patsies, and now these times are starting to drip down the field here as these guys are learning out how and figuring out how to charge the boost up in these cars. So it is getting competitive here. It is getting very competitive here in qualifying. The camo pattern is comprised of skulls, the hundreds of little skulls in a tight pattern that makes it look like camo paint. Really digging livery. Facts. Absolutely. It's when I see it now, when I see what it's all about, it's very Kilter-esque. You know what I mean? It's very Kilt-esque. Not quite as layered up, I think, as one of the Kilter design liveries, but it's there. You know, that's what it reminds me of. When I see it, you know, it would make me think, wait, is that Kilt? But you know, the red and blue immediately makes me know it's Death. Immediately makes me know it's him. All right, he's got a good rip through poo on here, but he had his charged up lap in lap number 1. So the bigger question is he going to send this lap all the way around, or is he going to use the end of the blow straight away into the chicane to recharge his battery and use lap 3 as his second qualifying lap, as I have air quotes in my around my head there saying that. We'll have to wait to see, but you know, this guy, again, longtime driver here at GT45 Gaming. He's an absolute legend. He's been around the community for a very long time as well, and you know, he's just a cool, calm, collected dude. He tries not to stress out too much. You know, he takes everything with a grain of salt. He has a great perspective on whatever is going on, and he just likes to come out and race, and he likes to race here because he likes the community. You know, he likes hanging out with the drivers. He likes racing with the drivers. It's a really, really clean driving community, and that's what keeps these guys coming back every season. So I love to have them back. We definitely love these returning drivers. They really do make the heart and soul of what we do here, and without them we'd have some small driver grids sometimes. So definitely Kilter vibes. Facts. Another one of our drivers is yet to qualify here. We have a few yet from Ten Tenths that have yet to qualify. We've got a large portion of our competitive side of our team entered into the series here, and it's not mandatory, but definitely appreciated to see the TT guys and gals out on the racetrack. We grew very quickly, that's for sure. We grew very quickly. There's a large team there. We got a large team there. We do have some drivers that aren't fully actively competing right now, each for their own reasons, and there's no pressure for the drivers to be actively competing, but we do have a fairly large competitive driving group here, and they have been all over the GT7 world here the last little while. Some of the drivers are going through SLP and taking advantage of the advantages of finding fun races on SLP and working through races in SLP to get more seat time. We've got one of our drivers really actively racing in iRacing, putting up some good races over there in iRacing right now. You know, the drivers seem to be having a lot of fun, so you know, that's good. That's good. I'm actually excited for Alpha. You know, he's enjoying iRacing. He seems to be doing really well with it, and since I have great spotting experience, I think that we may have to have a little chat there, Alpha, if you're still watching. Yeah, we may have to get some real life spotting going on. Alright, so ATK Death coming around here. He's on a good lap here again. So it was a 205 with a battery charge. It's a 158.563 on lap number 3 here from ATK Deaths. So, I mean, this is essentially probably just a formality lap at this point here for him now, because just the way that these guys are approaching their qualifying runs, they have a good flyer, they squash the next lap to build up so they can have another good flyer, and then the final lap typically ends up being a squash lap, but he's going to send it around because that's the protocol, and we appreciate it. Gives it a little bit of fun for the viewers at home as well. They get an extra look at the car for another lap around the track. It is absolutely heart-throbbing livery. And I got to tell you what, I really feel like we need to have a fan favorite livery contest this season. It's not something that I've thought of up until last night. We have seen some spectacular liveries already on this racetrack. We have so many talented paint artists in this racing field this season. I think that it would be fun to do a fan favorite livery. What do you guys think? I mean, you guys let me know. You're the fans. You're the community. It's going to be you guys and gals that are going to be out there voting on it through the social platforms, and how we can, however we can manage that. You know, we'll make videos, we'll do slideshows, we'll do what we got to do. But what do you guys and gals think that are watching at home? I mean, was that something you'd be into? You know, if I made a video on YouTube and attached a poll to it for you guys to vote, you know, would you be willing to do that, to see who the fan favorite prototype livery for the season is? We can leave that vote up for the large portion of the season. I think it would be fun. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, so Death's coming around on the final lap here. It's going to be a 2:2:01 somewhere in there. Motor lap, an all motor lap, 2:01.5. There it is, and that's about what you expect with all motor here. 2 minutes 2:01 is a safe bet on an all motor lap here. So it's not a terrible lap. I mean, it'll still keep you right in the tip, right in the top end of Div 2 right now. You know, if you have consistent couple 2-minute flats. So that was a great run there by Death, and he's going to have a little celebratory donut there right before the source as well. So it's just waiting for race control to verify his best 2 times. And I do have the 159.172 and a 158.563. So hot lap number 1 and 3. And there we go. Miss Stevie is confirming the same thing right as I'm talking about it. All right, we're having some fun here. I'm enjoying chilling with you guys and gals. I really am. I miss the community. We haven't done this. We don't do this enough anymore. It's good times here. We're enjoying. We're digging it. Oh, that's interesting. Just going through the streams, just checking everything out, checking the metrics, making sure everything has been running properly, minus that little bit of an issue we had there for a moment at the beginning of the stream. But I really do think that that's due to that it's having a moment right now. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. I do. I agree with you on that. And we're going all robotic here right now, most likely for you guys and gals, so I apologize. Let's just maybe shut that right, minimalize that all together here and see. There we go. Came right back. We're figuring this out. Alright, great job, Death. Again, long-standing racer here with GT45 Gaming community, so we appreciate the continued support there from ATK's Death and ATK Motorsports, and you know, slowly but surely we continue to bring them to the dark side here at GT45 Gaming and come race over here. You know, hopefully we start to see more of that group over here. They're a really great organization. As fast as these cars go, it's hard to get a proper look under race conditions, you know, so the votes between rounds would be perfect. I agree. You can get better camera shots, you can zoom in, you can, you know, you get some good quality looks at the paint. Good to see livery designers going and changing their designs now that we're talking about it. Watch. Alright, TT's Fast Ginger is going to be next out here to qualify. That's going to be driver number 18. here in our qualifying sessions this weekend. So again, I would like to thank all our administration staff, Ms. Devious, for being race control here this weekend, taking some time out of her weekend. I know she's not feeling the greatest here this weekend as well, so really appreciate it. Of course, 2 of our admins were involved in that Daytona 24-hour race with IRO. That just finished up this morning, so they're zonked out and out like a light. And Larry's lurking. Larry's always just lurking. You know, he's always around. You don't know where Larry is, and then he pops out this huge spreadsheet out of nowhere, and it's accurate, up-to-date information. He's a mastermind. He really is. Alright, so this is a different look. We got a little bit of a taupe flannel design, cream flannel design coming here from Ginger. I'm not sure what you can call that color. It's an interesting color, but the flannel design coming back out here for the LMP1 cars here from Fast Ginger as well, and it seems to be one of his chosen favorite designs lately here on his racing cars, and it definitely stands out. So again, another great looking paint job here from one of our drivers. Cold racing tires coming down in through Brussels for the first time. I got the hiccups, chat. Just bear with me here for a second. I'm going to take a slam of water here. By water, I mean coffee. But, yeah, liquid is liquid. Alright, so Fast Ginger here as he comes through campus. This is just the outlap, so this is to warm up the tires, mess around, try to build your boost up in your battery kind of lap. We've seen it happen from many of the drivers here, and no different here from TT's Fast Ginger. So again, I apologize about the stream. It's struggling a little bit here again. I'm going to go into the settings tonight. I feel like we just need to up the frame rate. That's what I'm looking for. With the new capture card, I might reset the settings, and I haven't necessarily adjusted all the settings, potentially. So we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the software here, post-stream tonight, and see if we can get this to stop being so silly. Because we just want to see fast racing. Alright, so here we go. Ginger's cooking it here. He is now on the flying lap. Spent some time charging up the battery. And here we go around La Source. So much like the RA drivers, we can definitely tell that the RA drivers had a strategy. They were working as a team to practice for qualifying, and it has shown in every driver that's gone around the track. I'm seeing much of the same thing from the Ten Tenths driver. I can't actually really attest to it because I have been so busy commentating with the championship, with my own racing. I actually haven't even been able to help the drivers on Ten Tenths at all with practice. So these guys have taken it upon themselves, and they have been doing their thing behind the scenes, and they all have a very similar strategy, which tells me that they've all been in the lobbies together. They've been trying to work together on figuring this car out, and we're seeing it here on track now as well. So let's see what Fast Ginger has here now. He seems to think he's an AM driver, as he's got that green all over that car. Let's see what kind of times he puts in here. So like I said, we're working with the team, and he's got a bit of an understanding about the boost system in the car. It's going to show here. Egon had an understanding of the boost system in the car. He's just on a slightly different pace level than some of the guys we've seen last night. Fast Ginger is right there with Egon in pace level, so we should see laps right around the same time. I would suspect we should be right in that 2-minute range. Maybe he's going to blow it out of the water and be the fastest qualifier. Who really knows? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Alright, here we go. Heading in through Blois-Chamont. That takes us up into the chicane. And 300 meters is going to tell us what that first lap time is. So he needs a good tight corner here. Nice solid exit. Don't want any wheel spin. Little wide there. Oh, he gathered it back up. Gathered it back up. Not ideal. Not ideal. 203.4. He was definitely in that 2-minute range if it wasn't for the slide on the curbing. So let's see what he does here now. He's going to have to collect himself up. We've seen a few of the drivers have a slide, typically out of La Source. That was the first time we've seen a driver have the big moment actually up out of the chicane. So A tough slide there. That's definitely not the place you want to slide, as that's where the power is coming down with that battery charged up under braking. So that's unfortunate there for Ginger, but it probably cost him a couple seconds for sure in the time there. So let's see what he does with it here now. He's got to try and figure out a way now to make the next flying laps work, right? So he doesn't have an opportunity to charge the battery here now because of the situation where he had the half spin. So he's going to have to try and really get this lap to home in, try and knock down on that 203.4 a little bit just with an all motor map. Now we do know that you can do a 2-minute flat on all motor. I was able to get it on all motor at about a 2-minute .1. So the potential is there to improve on that 203.4, and then he can squash his third lap to build up that boost for the final lap again. That's kind of where his strategy is sitting here right now. He's got to try and all motor this guy out just to prove that 203 a little bit, and then send it on lap number 4. But if he doesn't, that's okay too. It doesn't matter, you know. These cars are a handful, and he is blue, so he is improved on it. He's not huge up, but the all motor lap is an improvement on what he's got there right now. So you just hate to see that mistake in the final turn. I hate to see it from any driver. You know, you're looking just to get that good, clean, power down exit so you can get a good start on your flying lap and just make that little bit of a mistake. And that was just not enough turn in. He went a little wide in the corner, and that created the whole situation. You can see he's more than aware of that situation this time. And there you go. It's a 2-minute .921 all motor lap there for Fast Ginger. So that was a great recovery there from the mistake on lap number 1. Didn't panic, collected himself back up, and got locked back in. So let's see what he does here now on lap number 3. Let's see if he just opts to go to 2 more all motor laps and just try to home in a couple of 2-minute low laps, or let's see if he builds up that boost at the end of lap number 3 here as he gets towards the chicane out of Blow Chamont. So we'll have to wait about a minute and a half to find out what he's going to choose to do with that, but we are about to find out. Alright, so TT's Fast Ginger rocking and rolling here as we head into Lacombe on the 3rd flying lap here in qualifying. And good, nice, tight exits and entry there. I mean, you can eat a lot of that curb and not be compromising speed too much. And he did a good job there again, a little bit deep into Brussels, but he manages to grab some curb there. He pulls it back over, gets it set up for the no-name corner. And great exit out of the no-name corner. So he's actually looking pretty good here so far on this lap as we head into Pouan. And I mean, he's got a little bit of battery there, but not a lot. He's sitting on a sliver there. You can see it's draining and it's gone. And he'll have to try to regain some back under braking here. So you can see a good charge up there. He really just kind of slapped the brake there real quick. Got a good little charge up on the battery there. It's at about 25%, and then it's gone. And now rebuilding it back up. So you can see as the drivers are tapping the brakes, you can see the arrow going from red to green. So green means it's charging. Now when that little arrow goes to red in the speedometer there in that little square box, that means that he's using the battery. When there's no arrow, that means there's no battery left to use. So you can see he's preparing for a flying lap here. He's dragging his brake. You can see he's got about 15-20% brake pressure here as he heads around Blow Chamont. He's down by about 50 miles an hour going through that corner than you would be at full send. So he is preparing the car for a flyer. Boy, these races are on point. Hey, you know, they have a plan B to their plan A and a plan C to their plan B, it seems like, here for qualifying tonight. So again, it just goes to show me the drivers are ready for the season. We're not even into the season. This is just qualifying. So, you know, some of these drivers that have already early qualified, you know, their focus is still on kind of trying to catch live streams, trying to see what kind of times the drivers are putting in so they can have a rough idea where they're sitting. Because we're not releasing times this season, but also they can start preparing for round number 1 now if they choose. That gives them a 3-week jump start on the Daytona race on April 8th. So we got 3 weeks till that open season. We always start with our big division. So we're a little bit different than all the other leagues out there. All the other leagues start with their lower divisions and send out the bigger divisions at the end of the run, but we do it a little different. We'll have our pros being broadcast every Monday night starting April 8th. We'll have our pro-ams every Tuesday night starting April 9th. And if we have that am division, those will be broadcast every Thursday night starting April 11th. one race a night. Obviously, we all have jobs and we all have, there's only so many hours a day, unfortunately, so the races are at 9, and the official lobby opens at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. They give the drivers half an hour to warm up, practice, do their thing, get a feel for the lobby. 5 minutes before qualifying is slated to start, we reset 2 lobby resets to get the conditions back to where starting of the race should be, and we send the drivers out on a 5-minute warning. Then from there, we hit that go qualifying button, and it is game on until the end of the race. Live podium interviews do follow up every round of racing here from the GT45 Prototype Challenge, so we get an opportunity to talk to our top 3 drivers each racing week, and yeah, it's just good, wholesome fun for about an hour and a half here leading into our weeknights. So, you know, we're always looking for something to watch on our weeknights, and it's a 59.789 there from Fast Ginger on his final flying lap. And that was a good quality lap coming right there from Fast Ginger. He's sitting here with an AM sticker on his car and currently sitting in potentially in Pro Division placement. Just saying. Just saying. Never a bad idea to have a contingency plan, because things go awry. Isn't that the truth? Lap 2 and lap number 4. Hot lap number 2 and hot lap number 4. That is a 2-minute .921 and a 1:59.789. And a new front clip for Ginger's car there as he is using the wall to put on a smoke show. Not a bad little donut show there. Yeah, it's too bad we have a bad camera angle. All we see is the outline of a car through all the smoke. Yeah, right. GG's. Good job, Ginger. And drivers are getting spicy today, aren't they? Spicy. Don't mind me. Just throwing things around my house. That's how we roll, you know. We just throw things around here. It's a good thing I looked at my phone because, yeah, we have just legends in the chat. I don't have a track map installed, is why I'm not using one tonight, Misty. I'm just trying not to overtax this overlay right now, but SimLeague Pro we've already talked about. We do have merchandise for sale, and that's a good point. We do have merchandise for sale through the GT45 Gaming merchandising shop. Their link is provided in the Discord server. So for our drivers, there is a link in the Discord server under merch, I think. Merch Baby, I think is how it's called. That'll take you right directly to our merchandising shop at GT45 Gaming. Go check out our products there. We have a variety of products from GT45 Gaming. We have some products from Ten Tenths SimRacing, and we also have products on behalf of the GTRC racing community there as well. We're going to be shutting down the merch store at some point here this week for a couple of days to do maintenance and make some changes in the back end, and it'll be back up and running as well at the end of the week again, but it will be open until about Tuesday until I take it down for some maintenance. So we do have that going on, and we are going to update some of that merchandise as well. Maybe get some prototype merchandise out there as well for the viewers if you're interested in showing an extra level of support for the series as well. So we got some great stuff brewing there. Burn it down, Gigi. Woo! Fans enjoyed the donuts. And again, like I said, we were talking about new stuff coming from GT45 Gaming. We're going to try and bring more continuous racing here for the community. Obviously, not everybody enjoys the LMP1 cars, so we are tossing around the idea of a one-make, series. A spec series of Miatas is definitely high on that list right now. A one-make Porsche series with the new Street Porsche, potentially, or even just the Group 3 Porsche. I know a lot of people say it's overdone, but it provides for such fun racing. Or maybe we'll go to something a little bit more interesting. We might maybe delve into the street car circuit at some point in time. But like I said, we are looking at adding more into Sim League Pro and more racing events for everybody. As we start to progress forward as a team and as a organizer, host slash streamer slash sim racer. And I know the one thing we haven't done in a while is charity events, and we've announced a couple in the Discord over the last year. We started planning them together. We were just feeling for interest more than anything. We have a big one. I have a huge one that I really would like to do at some point this season, probably towards the latter part of the year. I have my reasons. And if we can get this together this year, we just didn't have enough time and interest, I think, last year to really get the whole plan together properly and efficiently. Now, when it comes to charity events, it's not something we're winging. We need to be 150% prepared by streaming day. I mean, there cannot be anything to go wrong. Everything has to be in perfect running condition. Everything has to be in perfect order, and everybody needs to be on the same page for a charity event to really find good success as a streamer. So we have to take it very seriously. Not only are we representing ourselves as a content creator and a page and a community, but we're also representing an organization, and that has to be done properly as well, right? So we do have plans for a Wounded Warrior Project, a charity event. It's the one that we were planning for last year, but again, we didn't have the time needed to get the thing planned properly on the day that we wanted to do it. This year we have an opportunity to get that time we need to plan it and start putting it together. So I'm going to address that again once we get the prototype challenge kind of underway and everything is moving efficiently. That is something that's going to definitely come up to the docket here. This is a charity event planned for the latter part of the year, but we got to start early because it is a logistical nightmare to do it the way I want it, and it's going to be a lot of moving parts to figure out. So but Wounded Warrior Project is a great organization. We've done charity events for them in the past. We've done charity events for Wounded Warriors Canada, and we've done charity events for Wounded Warrior Project in the United States as well, right there. So the same charity but separate entities because they do different things in depending on which country they're located. The United States Wounded Warriors Project does. They're really in depth with how they help the soldiers and the veterans now. So we've really leaned in on the Wounded Warrior Project because they're supplying a large amount of resources to families in need from our veterans and our armed forces. So I feel it's important that we try to help them because the amount of resources that they need is so significant that we can't provide hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, obviously, but the little bit we can provide is enough to set up another family, and that's what's important. So we've done well. We've done very well with the Wounded Warrior Project charity events. We've always managed to hit that goal, but we set very small goals. So with that being said, when we do decide to finally get this trigger pulled on this event, and I mean, we've got the organization on board, we've got certain entities already on board with what we want to do here. It's just a matter of getting all the proper planning and all the proper pieces in place to have a successful and properly thought out and put together event, because all we want to see is success for the organization that we are trying to raise money for. And the Wounded Warrior Project means a lot to a lot of people in this community. I know that there's members of this community that have family members that have used this resource, and it's been huge for them. So it's important that we show that support back to our community armed forces, men and women as well. Whether they're actively serving or no longer serving, it is really irrelevant in my opinion. They're out there putting their lives on the line every single day that they're out in the field to protect our way of life. So it's important that we try. So we're not only are we planning a big event, but we're going to be planning a pretty big goal with that event. Obviously, it's not going to be a $100,000 goal because we're a sim racing community. And you know what? Not saying that this community can't do it. I fully believe that with enough time, planning, and reach, we potentially could do it. But we're trying to be realistic here as well. So we're going to set a much larger or sizable goal on this next charity event than we're used to seeing from me, because I think this community can do it. And every time we've done something, the community has shown up. You know, we've had great opportunities to go and be a part of other groups, charity organization events as well. We've done some 24-hour events with GT45 SimRacing in the past, and they had huge success. And the reason why they have huge success for the organization they're raising money for, and it was the UK Cancer Research was that charity organization for that particular event, and you know, they raised well over, I think, £6,000 overall for that event, and that's success. That is huge success for a sim racing community. So you know, it is most certainly possible to hit a bigger number, but it takes a large team, it takes a lot of planning, and it takes every single person that's involved in it to be on the same page and be on cue. So you know, we do have a big one being planned, but I've also got a real life charity event that I'm thinking about as well, which we're approaching as we're getting into the nice season here where I live. So you know, charity work is not something I've forgotten about or lost. I know it's been a while from to see it from the page here. I just don't want to fail. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to fail. I am not going to throw together a half thought out, poorly put together, rushed event to go and try and make a quick 1500 USD for some charity just because I need a little bit of rep for my page or something like that. That's not why we're doing it, and I refuse to do it like that. If we're going to put one together, it's going to be for the right reasons, and there's going to be a huge goal attached to it, and failure is not an option for me when it comes to stuff like this. So it takes a lot of thought processing, and I mean, I'm not going to pull a trigger on something if I don't think that we can succeed with it. So you know, that's important to me. There's a time to have fun, joke around, trash talk, poke fun, swear at each other, call each other names, and then there's a time to get serious. And when we're working for charities, it's time to get serious. So it's coming. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of volunteer time to get everything to happen with charity events, and a lot of back-end financials to do things like overlays and videos and all the visuals that we do on the stream. You know, it takes a lot to put a charity event together. There's a lot of email communication between myself and the organization and any other entities that we have involved with the charity event. You know, it's tough to get it together. So the longer that we have to prepare for it, the better chance we have at ultimate success for it. So I am working on something. I already have the base plan laid out and done with this charity event because I did it last season. Now it's just expanding on that building block to get it even closer in the next step to setting a date on it and starting to advertise for it. So I will keep you guys posted on charity events. We will be attaching a charity to the GT45 Prototype Challenge as well. I don't know which one we're attaching yet, to be honest. It's in discussion right now with the team and the administration staff. We've had a couple of ideas just recently come across, and it's an avenues that we're going to have to pursue fairly quickly here, but we're hoping that by the end of the month we've got an organization, a charity organization that we are going to attach with the Prototype Challenge, because the goal is throughout the season to try and raise money for a charity foundation to give back to their community, whatever community that may be. It's going to be somewhere here in North America, but we don't know which one it is yet. It won't be Wounded Warriors, obviously. We're going to do a big event for them separately, but it's going to be most likely some kind of research, you know, cancer or you know, children's youth foundation or something along those lines. I've got a couple local charities here locally where I live that are great organizations that I've reached out to and I'm waiting to hear back from, and we've got some organizations down in the United States that we're gonna reach out to here as well and see if what we can do here. So it's a little undecided, but that is something that's going to happen as well, and we'll see what we can do. And I mean, we're not really setting a goal on that per se. It's just, you know, we're going to do our best to to try and help that foundation out, and if we can get a little bit of actionable content from the foundation that we're supporting, that'll help a lot. But it's there. We have not forgotten about that. That's for sure. That's where our roots are built from. We did a lot of charity work early on in our contenting career, and then we just got really, really busy because the commentating really took off. So, yeah, we just got to make the time. Well, I got a cooker this time. Oh, I got one cooked up this time, Chris. You have no idea. This one's not so much about serious professional NASCAR style or F1 style racing. This one is a lot more easygoing, fists out, elbows out, kind of hit the pass style events is what I've got brewing up in behind the scenes. So it's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing from GT45 Gaming. But when it comes to charity, it's all about having fun. And the more fun you're having, the better chance, again, you have of success. It's all about success for the organization. But you know what? The NASCAR race was pretty lit. And I think that we are going to see a comeback of that Daytona 500 at some point in time again. Do not kid yourself. It seems like about once a year we crack that bad boy off. And it may come back again. It may just come back again because I enjoy it too. I love those two car builds that came from the Infinite Racing League group over there. The ironic thing is after how many updates, how many game changes, how many physics changes, how many balance of performance updates. I mean, they have done so many different things to this game since day one of this game when it released, when those builds were built. Those build sheets were done in the first 3 months of Gran Turismo 7's release, and those builds 2 years later now are still perfect. It's insane. Thank goodness it was 4 laps. Nice run, Ginger. Great run, buddy. You were all worried about being an I mean, you're right in the middle of that unofficial pack at the moment, give or take, right off the top of my head without looking at the sheets. So, yeah, you guys gotta quit stressing yourselves out, man. You know what, though, qualifying does put pressure on a lot of the drivers. I understand that. I'm one of those drivers. I don't qualify well, so that weighs in the back of my mind when it finally comes down to qualifying. Clearing out some pings here. I've just gotten some recent pings. I'm just trying to stay in communication with race control mainly. Again, race control's here on free time right now, so I'm going to give the half-hour warning here live on the stream. I'm going to go into the Discord and give the half thing as well. We haven't had a driver in here in about 15 minutes. I've been just rambling on about random stuff. It's not random stuff, it's important stuff. It matters to the page, it definitely matters to the community. But I'm going to give the half-hour warning here. If we don't see any more drivers, we're going to shut this lobby down for tonight. So we do have one driver that was scheduled to be here tonight, Super Blunt, but he got called into work a few hours ago, and he's unable to make his session here tonight, so that is okay. I just told him to reschedule when it's convenient for him, either within one of the scheduled qualifying times or reach out to us. So we won't see Super Blunt come in and qualify today from the incredible SimRacing team, but we have a few of them that have joined in, and I believe we have some of the SCR guys that are going to test their metal out here in the LMP ones as well. Oh, there is no green, boy. That's going to be a blue, boy. Oh, yeah. That's going to be a bluey. You might as well start changing it now. We don't have a green division right now. Technically, anyways, Fast Ginger, we don't have the 45 drivers registered. We only have enough for 2 at the moment, so it's going to be a red and blue division at the moment as it stands. Be a little bit of a mismatch, I think, in the second division, but I think that we end up with that no matter what. It seems like in our last division, it's not the slowest division. I hate saying it like that because it does not make them slow. Just our lowest division, our lowest qualifying drivers. We could see a mismatch here. I'm not sure if Mischievous is Mischievous. You qualifying? I think she's just going out to run some laps. How you doing, JP? You think that all the AMP stickers on this car was a disinformation campaign? They're right around where you're at, JP. There was 2 or 3 drivers that have come in and slammed some great qualifying times down, but for the most part, they're all right around where you're sitting. The high 59s, mid 59s, low 2s, somewhere in around there. Open mic on Thursday, still looking good. Blue is better, it fits your aesthetic. Yeah, I think there was 3 drivers quicker, for sure, than JP tonight. So I mean, he's still sitting in pretty good position here. Like I said, without looking at the list, I can't officially tell you right now, but I have read your message, and it will be considered when we set our splits up, JP. If you're right there on the bubble, so. I think Miss Devious is blowing donuts right now, chat. Gotta burn off a set of them Michelin soft tires. Oh, that's who needed the qualifying time tomorrow night. Thank you, JP. Gosh, it was on the tip of my tongue forever trying to figure out who asked for a qualifying session tomorrow night. It was Ishmael. So yeah, I'm probably going to open up a qualifying session tomorrow after work when I get home from work. We'll leave it open for an hour or 2, whatever we need to get 2 or 3 or 10 drivers through, whoever decides to come in tomorrow night. It's an unannounced session, obviously, but again, as per request from one of the drivers, so we try to do our best to accommodate all our drivers as we can. Again, sometimes I can't make the scheduled qualifying time slots, so we do our best to accommodate, those individuals that just can't quite make that time slot, really. So I am going to be opening up a time slot tomorrow night for a little bit here as well for Ishmael, and I did plan on going live tomorrow night to do some open lobby streaming anyways, so we'll just kind of tie it all together. You love the TT Raven logo. Racing logo. Appreciate it, JP. Appreciate it, buddy. She said, "This is how it's done. Hold my beer." She's in the VR too, as well. You can see it. It's right on the wing there. And another car that could easily be in the discussion of fan favorite livery there as well. We have some great liveries this season. I really like that idea. I think we're going to have to fire that off. I think we're going to have to do a fan favorite vote for liveries this season. I really do. I really, really do. JP's eyes just got bigger. He's already going back to the drawing board. Yeah, I always leave a second or 2 on the table, ATB. Yeah, I feel your pain, dude. I feel your pain. We don't know what these other guys are going to do yet. We have 12 or 10 drivers left to qualify, and those are essentially what I like to call our big boys. Really, that's left. It's all our last season pro drivers for the most part, Miss Devious being one of those drivers. Actually blowing off donuts here. We have a couple of our newer 10 Tenths drivers that have to go yet as well. They'll be probably down in the 2nd division there. We had newcomer Dudley coming in and currently sitting 1st overall in qualifying. So the new guy coming in putting his stamp on the LMP1s. So I can tell you right now, there are going to be some of them pro drivers be like, no way, the new guy is coming in and driving faster than me in qualifying. So we could potentially see some faster times yet. It was a very impressive run from Dudley. I know we're just calling him a new guy. It's just poking in all good. It's just all in good fun. He was very crisp lines around this track for all 4 laps. He fully understood how to drive the car, and I mean, he did a 59 on all motor, pretty much as well in his run. So I mean, right now he's our top qualifier here out of the 18 that have qualified, and he's already a question mark for potential champion this season in my brain, and without even seeing our top drivers run yet. Just did another sim today. We're running mid-58s again. You're gonna kill yourself mentally stressing out about something that you just finished, dude. There's a lot of great looking liveries out there this season. Death just busted out a great looking one too. She is really cooking some donuts off here. Alright. I'm gonna close the lobby in half an hour here, chat. I gotta make supper too yet. I'm hungry. Oh, I got a cheat sheet. I got a cheat sheet. I can see everything. I have my own cheat sheet as well, but this is right up to everybody that's ran here. Right up. We have 20 people that have qualified. My goodness. We're moving. Alright. Out of the 20 drivers, 16 of them are full-time drivers. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. We got 9 drivers separated by less than a second right now in qualifying. 9 drivers separated by less than a second in overall combined total time. I've known you way too long, ATV, I know. 56 is for some of them. We'll see. Talk is cheap. Action speaks volumes. If Rob Heck were to come in here and jump in this car, I bet you he could drop a 56 in 4 laps. I really do think he would be more than capable of doing so, yeah. He did, and not only did he show his livery, he qualified very well. It's going to be an interesting shakeup this season from what I'm seeing so far, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be interesting to see what our top drivers here, or top returning drivers anyways from last season, have to show for us here, because I got to tell you what, our Pro-Am and Am drivers that have all come out here so far tonight, a couple of our Pro drivers have come out, they have showed up in qualifying for this series, so oh boy, I cannot wait to see this. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna see some drivers in divisions they're not used to being in typically, and I think that could be some pretty craziness. So yeah, and right now it is Team Rad's Petrohead with the overall fastest qualifying time, solo lap time here on track as well. So I'm not going to release too much more information, but I'm looking at the unofficial list right now based off of one of our admins' information, and obviously we'll put all the admins' information together and line it all up, but from what I'm looking at there so far, we have 9 drivers separated by less than a second here already in qualifying conditions. Our top 3 are separated by less than a quarter of a second. Yeah, I mean, it is close. I'm just oddballing. I mean, typically what I see from the World Tour guys is they're a couple seconds faster than our faster drivers here in the community, typically, when they really rock one out. So, again, that's just going off a statistic essentially in my head, right? That I've kind of just built up over time of working with so many groups. The World Series guys, you know, they just understand the game on a different level than we do. They kind of know how to use the track limit system to their advantage better than we do, and they understand, you know, just cars better than we do, right? So it makes for... Ooh, she's got that a little wrong there. She is going backwards around the track right now, so she likes to do that as we're waiting for drivers here. But I think that is going to be a really, really like perfect lap around here with this particular car. I think it's most certainly possible. With probably one of the other cars for sure. The Porsche 919, the 55 is probably possible, for example, right? So I really think it comes down to the car. But I mean, if those guys are saying that you know 56s can be done, then one of them has probably hit one. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's gonna be interesting to see what the big boys come in and do. That's for sure. They don't know the times either. They don't know the times either. We're not like secretly showing our top drivers what the times are. We're not showing anybody. So yeah. That's always an option as well. ATB, you know, it is an option. It is an option. It's just difficult with the Sim Pro setup, right? We have to. I'm sure there's ways to separate those points, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to breaking it down and doing a manual entry to sort it out, really. But yeah, we got some learning to do with Sim Pro as well as a organization. I mean, we've got a decent handle on setting it up now, but as far as, you know, making results official and making sure that each driver is getting the right amount of points for their division, you know, there's some logistical sorting out that we're probably going to have bumps in the road while we get through the process this season, but it's an option. It's an option. I mean, if there is a significant difference in times in between, you know, a split in one division, we could multi-class that division, so to speak, and have them running an individual race together, but separate races as classes. I mean, that's always an option. There's always an option. Yeah, I mean, that's the tricky part about this season, right? So you finally get comfortable with this Audi, and then boom, round 4 comes and you got to learn a different car. We did our absolute best to keep all the cars in order, so it was that car for each race it was scheduled for, and then but there's a couple of races where the car, one specific car was slated for our mid-season and finale race, so I had to doctor it around slightly, unfortunately, but yeah, so I think round 4 is a different car, and then round 5 is a different car, and then we go back to the round 4 car, and then we go... Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but... so, you know, the drivers are definitely have a lot to figure out here this year, because we're not just using the one prototype car, we're using and displaying 4 of the prototype machinery available here in Gran Turismo 7, and they're all different. They're each one that we're using is a slightly different car. The only two that are fairly close to each other are the Audi R18 and the Toyota TS050. The boost system is fairly similar in the cars. They are slightly different cars in the way they drive, and I think the TS050 is a little bit quicker than the Audi R18 personally when it comes down to all motor power, but fairly similar cars. Other than that, the Peugeot 908 HDI, I mean, that is a pure motor car. That is all motor, that car, so there's no hybrid boost, so it is going to need some adaptive driving to it after being in this car per se. And then we have that hypercar, the Toyota GR10, and that is just a whole different beast in itself, that car altogether, completely different from the rest of them. So it's going to be a challenging season for the drivers. They're going to have to do some adapting, and some will obviously do better with that than others, but that's why we've tried to keep the cars as, you know, in sequence as we could, so we weren't forcing you guys to make such tough adjustments throughout the season. We still want it to be fun, so we did make some changes in the original detail setup compared to what it was looking like when we were first going to release it, and that's what delayed the release. We decided to make some changes just for finances for the drivers. You know, and most drivers have the money to buy these cars, but some may not, so they need time to collect the credits as well. So, you know, that gives the driver 2-3 weeks to collect up the cash they need to go buy the next car if that's the case. Not too many of us are in that situation, but there are some that are in that situation. Like I said, we got some new drivers coming into the series. Those new drivers are probably in that situation, right, where they don't have a whole lot of in-game credit yet. So, you know, at about $6 million in purchase price for the season, you, that's why we tried to make it a little bit easier for the competitors this season. And we're just chilling, going backwards, all ghosted. Yeah, we're going to be shutting it down here in another 20 minutes or so anyways, John, but I appreciate you hanging out as always, my dude. We tossed the group series, so we did toss it around. We really did toss it around, but again, you know, same. At the end of the day, we came to the same conclusion: how many people have the Group C cars, and you know, they're only legendary cars too, so you have to wait for them to become available, and then you got to buy, you know, you got to buy them at a pretty good premium price, unfortunately. So, yeah, we considered the Group Cs. We did consider the Group Cs going a little bit of historical racing, so to speak, but. Maybe in the future, you know, maybe another year with the game being out, you know, everybody's pretty much bought up all the cars in the game by then, and then it's probably a little more feasible. But we'll throw feelers out if we're thinking about it. We'll see how many people have the Group C cars. I have a couple myself, so, you know, I bought the 787B as soon as that became available. It's a legendary car, that car, so you gotta have it. And I think I got the RCJ92CP or whatever it is. Close racing, these beasts would be another story. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. That's where the real challenge starts to play. And qualifying is one thing. You're on a track by yourself. You've got no interference. You got no air, dirty air. You got no drivers going in around, in front, and beside. Put 15 of these bad boys on the racetrack together, and now we've got a challenge. You're not wrong. You are not wrong, my dude. You are not wrong. That is where the challenge begins. Like I said, though, you know, for the qualifiers that are done this weekend, now the focus is round one. They got 3 weeks to prepare for Daytona's round one race. So we are going to be racing at Daytona road course for round number 1 here, and it will be in these Audi R18 cars. And then we head down over into the Eastern Hemisphere and hit, I believe, I don't even remember what track. But we go America track, and then we head over to the other side of the world for round 2, and then we come back for, I believe it's Watkins Glen, for round 3, off the top of my head. It's really hard to remember all this stuff right now. I've got so many things going through my mind every day. The Bugatti should have been in the list. Again, we thought about it. And we did think about it. We took a list at the full Group 1 list. I mean, obviously the VGTs were out. If you're going to do VGTs, then it should just be a VGT series. So VGTs were immediately axed out. That was no shocker there. And then we did contemplate the idea of having it as an open pick series. But then again, you know, that just becomes pretty much a one-make series per round, because there's going to be one car that's the strongest car around that particular racetrack, and that's going to be the one that everybody's going to use, with the exception of a few that maybe don't feel comfortable with that car and they try a different car. So, you know, that it just becomes a one-make series anyways, and it creates a lot of extra logistics for the teams. So, you know, that's why we designated a car-track combination at the end of the day. That's why it took 6 months to sort this series out. NERB GP. That's it. Thank you, Chris. You're a legend. I had Fuji in my brain, but Fuji is deeper into the season, so. And we've tried to put as many real-life tracks into the schedule as we could as well, but we didn't want to take away from Gran Turismo 7's creativity, so we have thrown a couple of original circuits in as well, and we've thrown one circuit into the list that is really just not used very often, so that's going to be a fun race. I've actually put the car out and done some testing on that particular track to make sure it was even going to be a feasible race with these cars, and it actually races these cars very well. So that's going to be a fun race, and I'm just going to keep that a deep, dark little secret from the viewers until we get to that round, because I believe that is round 6, if I'm not mistaken, that we're going to see that track combination. So we do have a couple of original circuits that are PD designed and made. Again, we're showcasing the cars and everything that Gran Turismo has to offer is what we're trying to do here with this series. High downforce. You know, there's a big argument throughout the sim racing community on GT7 that high downforce can't be raced close, tight-knit quarters and cleanly. We beg to differ. You know, we have a very active Group 2 series running right now over in the Gran Turismo racing community, and that has been 15 car grids every single racing week, and those have been some of the best high downforce races I have seen in my sim racing career in the last 3.5 years. It has absolutely been incredible racing, door to door action, 2-3 deep around corners. These guys are not struggling with these cars at all. It comes down to seat time and practice time at the end of the day. So, you know, we've taken those settings that we are using over there in that series as suggested by us, and those are the settings that we have in this series. So it tells me that they should be no different in these cars. The only difference is the type of car. They're a little bit faster, they're a little bit lunkier and wonkier into corners, so it's going to take a little bit of an adjustment for the drivers, but we all know that this community all practices together anyways. You guys are going to get used to being around each other in these cars. I think the only real factor is going to be the pad to the wheel to the VR drivers. You know, slightly different turn-ins, slightly different angles, and slightly different approaches, and that's where, you know, a lot of the racing complications and incidents come into play most of the time. Yeah, fun closing it on people with the insane brakes on the car. Yeah, they really have insane brakes. You're not wrong. Peugeot 908 Elisara combo is nostalgic for me. I used to do that combo in GT6 all the time. Yeah, Jakey, RA is Jakey. He's my head administrator here at GT45 Gaming. He's been part of the team for almost as long as we've had a server up here. He's the one that comboed up the cars and the tracks here this season. So if you have a disgusting combination you don't like, yell at Jake. Just saying. Alright, drivers, we're going to be closing the lobby up in 15 minutes. I think I forgot to post that in Discord. Oh well. We're going to go post it right now, though. Oh, it is ping season in the GT45 Gaming server. I am so sorry, all my lovelies. Championship season is ping season, as I like to call it. Thankfully, the whole Discord community doesn't get bothered by it, because we do separate our championship drivers into a private section of the server that only they have access to, and the general community does not have access to. So when we are picking our championship drivers, which is quite frequently throughout the season, at least it's not driving the whole community nuts, it's only driving the racers nuts. So we do apologize, but it is important. We have to make the ping so the drivers are getting the messages. If they don't get them at that point, I guess that's on them. For sure. I feel you, JP. You know, I work 10 to 12 hours a day right now in real life. I don't, you know, that's a new development thing. You know, we're having to work harder to try and just bring in the same amount of money. It's getting kind of crazy. So, you know, my hours are getting longer, and then that's putting pressure on me to be home in time for my own championship now, too, as well. Right? So, I feel you. Real life is really, in the last year and a half, really affected the amount of content I've been able to produce on the page. We used to stream 6 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a night, every night for the community, and we're lucky if we get 3 days a week right now, and those 3 days a week are usually commentary obligation and contracts. So we haven't even really been producing our own content for the community for a while, due to real life and like you said, other things getting in the way. And never mind me getting on track and actually competing for myself. So, you know, slowly adapting those changes in. The thing that's been hindering me from live streaming regular content, that problem has been solved finally. So we don't have an issue there anymore. So I do have the freedom back with when I can, and how long I decide to stream and how loud I decide to be. So that's fantastic. But now with our technical malfunction, I'm still a little lenient to be mass producing content because I need this setup to survive long enough till I get the proper part I need to rectify my issue with the stream. So, you know, the lagging, the skipping, the sound quality, the video quality is not quite 100% what it normally would be with what the equipment we're using right now. It's just a band-aid fix at the moment, and so there's so much more available for you guys at home too as well. So I see and hear things that you guys aren't seeing and hearing, thankfully, on the stream. I've managed to filter all that nonsense out for you guys, gals watching at home, but yeah, you know, it's hard for me seeing all the issues I'm having with the stream on the back end and trying to still stay focused on the task at hand. It becomes sometimes frustrating, and that frustration can tend to kill my vibe, right? So I'm just trying to produce quality, family-friendly, fun content, and if my vibe is off, I tend to lean away from the PG side and start to lean in on the Ghost After Dark side. So it's something we're working on very hard right now, but regular content's coming back starting this week. It might not be our 6 nights a week content, but we're definitely going to try and get a couple extra nights a week in for the community, just to hang out with the community, you know, open lobby racing night or whatever the case may be. So we may do that after the championships as well. The races are only 50 minutes, so, you know, the broadcast takes about an hour and a half. For me, it's still fairly early in the evenings on the West Coast, so I can open a LMP1 open lobby for an hour or two and just get some more racing out there, sprint races out there and stuff too, and, you know, just a little extra content for the regular community as well. So, you know, stuff like that. It's tough, you know. I live alone, so I don't have, you know, a wife at home that's, you know, maybe preparing dinner and taking care of some of the household chores and stuff that are around like a couple in a relationship would do. You know, when I come home, I have all that adulting to do still as well in between fun times, in between streaming. You know, I got to prepare my meals and cook the meals, and you know, unfortunately, time is not very rarely on my side. It's very rarely on my side. So I'm very appreciative of our help here. You know, Miss Devious has been a huge help over the last year now, if not a little bit longer. She's been a part of the team here, and she has really alleviated a lot of some of those pressures off, so I could try to focus on the things that I need to start focusing back on, and she's helped in other deeper ways as well, to make sure that the page continues doing what the page is doing. So that's a Peugeot I see, that's why. Thought it was a different car. Alright, so the lobby is going to be down here very shortly, here in about 10 minutes time. So, you know, great job to our drivers coming out today. We didn't have a big check-in list for today, so I didn't think that it would be a super long session today anyways. Cook while streaming? I could. It is most certainly doable. It's just about timing, right? You know, you gotta have everything semi, you know, kind of ready to be prepared, so to speak, right? So you got to have everything thawed out. You got, you know, I'll take my, you know, if I'm using canned goods or something with it, you know, it's all laid out on the counter in the morning and stuff. You know, I've got the pots and the pans I'm going to use. You know, I kind of lay everything out ahead of time. I don't do pre-preparation. That would probably be helpful, but I don't get up that early in the morning before work to have that much time to do all that stuff. And then, you know, just not mess around when I get home, right? You know, it's like, okay, I got this, you know, this much time before I need to be live. So, you know, it's like, okay, you just get on the tasks at hand, and what gets done, and what doesn't gets, you know, put on the top of the list for the next day. And sometimes the list gets really long, and sometimes you catch up on it, but those are some good donuts. We can't even see them through the smoke, so there we go. Oh. There, camera gave us a better angle. This is the Peugeot H 908 HPI that fast food users in, even though we can't get an angle because the camera crew is, I don't know what they're doing. Sleeping, apparently. Alright, I haven't had any drivers speak up that were shutting the lobby down, so it looks like we are clear for qualifying here tonight. So again, I do have a couple requests from a couple of the drivers that we have a qualifying run tomorrow, so I'll probably have a qualifying session up tomorrow night. Again, for the drivers, just keep your eyes on the Discord server. We will make that announcement. I will make that announcement in the Discord server tomorrow morning once I kind of sort my day out. Really, I just need to know what kind of time frame I'm looking at for when I'm going to be available to do the qualifying session. We'll live stream that. The reason why we live stream the qualifying too, ladies and gentlemen, obviously to build hype and get everybody checking out what we're doing here, maybe bring some more drivers into the series. You know, there's a few factors why we do it, but the big thing is it's video evidence of qualifying times, right? If we, forgot to take a screenshot, or we misplaced a screenshot, or a driver didn't get their screenshot, we have a discrepancy in times, the live stream is there. It is video evidence. So, that's why we live stream the qualifying runs. If we have an admin that's doing a private qualifying run and they don't have that second set of eyes from an admin there, they do screen record those sessions, and that gets archived. So, live recording is at the end of the day always our end all be all, because it's recorded footage. I mean, it's recorded footage. It is as it happens. So, oof. Slams into the wall there, scars up that pretty paint. Alright, so again, to the drivers that are in the Discord, usually I'm more on the ball with announcements leading up into stuff like this. I was a little dropped the ball this past week for preparing for our first weekend of qualifying, so I do apologize. The announcements be a lot more prompt this week. Those of that know how we operate our championships in GT45 Gaming know that's very unlike us. We're very over-prompt in a sense that making sure we're relaying information. So we'll get that straightened out. Again, with the SLP logistic in it, we're just a little flustered at the moment, so I do apologize. And some of it, I'm crazy busy right now in real life, so it's adding a little bit of complication on my end of things. But we're going to have everything sorted out, so keep an eye on SLP. We're going to start adding up the full season schedule up there on SLP as well. So the drivers can just get checked in and get that out of their way. We do the weekly check-ins in the Discord server. That helps us separate our divisional drivers, full-time drivers, and which subs are available as well, so we can place the grid. And the Discord server also gives us a proper PSN ID compared to maybe SLP name might be different as well, right? So there's a few different reasons why we're using both logistics, but it's just a two-step authentication type system to make sure that we don't get it wrong. We don't like to make mistakes. The gas hates making mistakes. It drives us nuts. We just want to be efficient, get it out, get it done, move on. So there's that. Stewarding this season, typically I outsource my stewarding. I usually take it outside of the community and take it to racers from other communities that don't compete in the GT45 Gaming Championships, but we have found that logistically that creates extra time needed for stewarding, and when you have multiple divisions that run on a weeknight, it doesn't quite get the standings and those official results out fast enough, as fast as we would like to see it. And it's just because there's you're having to send messages, there's just a bunch of logistics involved. So the stewarding this season is being done by the GT45 Gaming administration staff. If there's a conflict of interest within that administration staff for a particular incident, we do have some outside officiating staff that we use from TTRC. So we do obviously have that plan B. I still do use outside source. We do use some of our TTRC friends to help us settle appeals as well, because again, they do not compete in the community. I know that community over there. Their rule book is, if not more in depth, or just as in depth, and falls right in line with our rule book. I mean, their expectations are very similar to what our expectations are as far as racing goes. So we do reach out to our TTRC friends over there and their stewarding staff to help us settle appeal situations. So if we have a conflict of interest within the stewarding staff, we'll also send that incident out to our TTRC friends as well. So we do have that fail safe there, and I'm just trying to kind of break down how things operate and how things work with the championship. I know there's probably people that are watching or will watch that might be interested in how we operate things here. The heart and soul of any championship at GT45 Gaming, or really the page in general, is the Discord server. SimLeague Pro is a new addition to our lineup here at GT45 Gaming. Like I said, we're learning with it as well still. It is definitely going to alleviate a lot of things like transferring standings to a graphics designer who's going to put it together on a template and make it look all fancy. We don't need any of that anymore. We got SimLeague Pro good enough. So it eliminates a potential 2 to 3 day process for that as well, right? So we can just get the results. Okay, no incidents came in, hit that official button on SimLeague Pro, it calculates the points for the drivers. There's no assessed penalties. We don't need to make any manual adjustments. Boom, standings are available like 48 hours later, right? So that's why we've moved to SimLeague Pro. But at the end of the day, the Discord is still the end all be all, even over SimLeague Pro. The check-ins are important on Discord. You need to use the Discord check-ins. So I know some people aren't that active on Discord, but during a championship season, anything relevant, any changes made, any changes to the rule book that don't affect the immediate championship season, everything is announced and placed in that championship part of the server. And if you are not in that server to see that information and you miss it, that is not on the administration staff, that is on the driver. So we really just try to do our best to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Now, the community does a great job at relaying information and questions to the drivers as well. Like I said, we always have lots of new faces that come through from season to season. Some stay, some go. Some come and check it out, decide they don't like the series, and bounce. That is the way league racing goes. We have, if you have 100 drivers sign up to register for a season, you can count on 15% of those drivers not to make qualifying. So you're already down to 85 drivers. Out of those 85 drivers, you're going to have 5 to 10% of those drivers just bail on the season, not show up for race one, or eventually leave the season, or just because they're not enjoying themselves or struggling, whatever the case may be, or it's just not their cup of tea. So you're going to lose 25% of your driver pool on average in league racing, right? Right now we're sitting at a number of 30. If we lose 20% of our driving pool at 30 drivers, that's going to hurt. Right, that's gonna hurt. So, hopefully that doesn't happen for us. But that's just the law of averages, and that's just the way it is in league racing, right? So we just try to do our best to try and keep the information clear, concise, and efficient. And what each driver chooses to do with that information is up to them. And just a head note, the online league regulations, the OLR on the Ten Tenths SimRacing website, all those links are provided in the championship server and in the channels as well. The drivers need to get familiar with our regulations. It's extensive, I know, guys, gals, I'm sorry. It is a very thick rule book. It's very extensive. And we put a lot of hard work into that rule book, to develop it and then make it more efficient for everybody to navigate. So that's why it's hosted on the Ten Tenths SimRacing website, so we can make that navigation possible for everybody. We do ask that you guys really do familiarize yourself with it, because that just helps eliminate gray areas when you're thinking about filing incident reports, or if you have a discussion, maybe say after a race with another driver, or there's an incident, or you're having a discussion with an administrator. We want to make sure that you understand the rules. If you have a question, please ask. We would more than be willing to clarify any issue that you have or question that you need for clarification from our online league regulations. We want you as well informed as you can. All we expect is clean, hard, fair racing here, and the only way to get that is to have a very stringent rule book. I have learned in my experience working with other leagues, racing in other leagues, handling leagues myself, hosting leagues, commentating leagues, you have to have a stringent rule book, because if you give an inch, drivers will take a mile. You can't give that inch, and they won't take that mile. So that is why our rule book is as extensive as it is, and it is built by the community of drivers. This driving community at GT45 Gaming has helped design this book. This is a combination of feedback over seasons and events and the things that we do through the server. It's a combination of what we see in some real-life motorsports that translate to sim racing as well, and a lot of it is just situations that we've come across in our experiences as sim racers as well. So it's a combination of those three things. So this is built by the community. It's not just the admin staff, puffing out our chests and going, "Ha! Look at our rule book." It's not that at all. It is the key to success for having a clean, highly sought out racing league, and we're not highly sought out yet, but I think that the word is spreading that we have one of the more efficient, cleaner racing leagues out there here at GT45 Gaming, whether it be a partnered league that's sending us a series pre-built or we're developing our own. I don't think it matters. I think that the community here thrives on that clean racing, and that's why we continue to see new faces show up, because I think that the word is spreading out that this is one of those leagues out there where that is just it. Because at the end of the day, motorsports is a no contact sport. Obviously, in real life motorsports, we see contact all the time, but what else do we see when there's contact in real life motorsports? We see race officials slapping drive-through penalties, time penalties, and fines, cash fines on teams for breaking the rules, and that happens live while the race is happening. It's a little tougher for us to make that call live. Obviously, we have to review footage, and we have to do all these things, and we can't just do that on the fly because we don't have a TSN crew at our disposal to send us that clip per se. But you know, that is why we have to have such an extensive rule book. So it's extensive, it's long, it's hard to read through. Trust me, I know we have, as admin, have to review that thing constantly because we also have to be 100% well aware of what, you know, the regulations are as well. So we're constantly having to read through that book every time a change is made. We got to go review that change to make sure the wording is right, make sure that the message we're trying to send in within the legislation is correct. So please do us a favor and take that time to go read the book. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. It's extensive, but we really do need the drivers to go and have a proper understanding of what's expected here from the racing in the series, because the penalties are going to reflect that rule book, and we're not lenient. We're not lenient on penalties. We suit the consequence to the situation, and we don't feel bad about it because that's how we get clean racing. So we don't learn if we don't make the mistakes, and we understand that. And mistakes are exactly that, a learning experience. We're not there to chastise drivers, make drivers feel bad, because at the end of the day, 99.9999999% of the time, it is unintentional. It is an accident. So we're not looking at it like that. We're looking at it, okay, how can this be avoided? You know, what kind of decision can be made here to avoid that in the future? Or was this just sheer, it happens, it's racing, you know? So, but the rule book reflects our penalty system, so you really do need to be familiar with that rule book. For those of us that race in leagues with big rule books, understand that. For those of us that are new to racing in leagues with big rule books, that's why. You know, I have the stream to really get a message across, not only to the community but our drivers as well, right? So we know they're going to cut them back, and they're going to watch these qualifying runs. They're going to want to see the times that are being put down. They might just zip through it and catch the times, but at the end of the day, you know, we're going to do the best I can to relay the message full across to whole racing community, because again, you know, we all come from different areas. Maybe some of us don't hang out in Discord that much, like I said. So the stream is just another avenue for relaying that information. You know, liveries are looking great. The staff will start approving liveries here probably throughout the week now as qualifying is underway, so you'll start seeing those confirmations on your liveries. Don't panic, everybody. We haven't approved the liveries because we don't have your divisions placed yet. They look great. If there's been any big problems with liveries, I think Lucas has been reaching out to the drivers and getting them to correct those issues. So they're all pretty much ready to go, and I mean, everything's looking great from the drivers on this end. I mean, and qualifying has been spectacular. We haven't seen any big moments here in qualifying so far in 2 sessions. Usually we see a couple of guys, you know, have the nerves set in and don't have the best qualifying sessions, but we haven't seen that yet so far this season, so it's fantastic. Yeah, yeah. I feel you, JP. I feel you, buddy. Trust me, it was a long process. That rule book is about 2 years, close to 2 years in the making. You know, we had a week base started on the rule book, and then it got beefed up just a little over a year ago. So definitely over the last 12, 14 months, that thing has turned into a beast. But results from last season with 3 divisions really kind of solidified that is needed. We ran into some interesting situations last season, good and bad. And that was the first season we had at GT45 Gaming where we had some serious server drama. Obviously, it was just in the championship part of the server, so thankfully, it just affected our championship drivers. But we had some moments last season, and that's the first time we've had a moment. Some of those adversity moments as hosting leagues. For whatever reason it was. It doesn't matter. We're not going to sit here and speculate and talk about it because that was last season. It's old news. We've dealt with those situations and have moved past them, but that has shown us that the rule book is of this extensive is really necessary to get what we're looking for out of racing. I mean, I'm a goal-oriented I'm a goal-oriented person. Like, I'm not going to just do this without a goal, right? And that's my issue, right? So my goal is to pick up real-life sponsors for this championship. It's really for the page to continue developing great championships and really step them up to the next level. And in order to do that, you got to have the bones in behind the series, right? So, in order to pick up a legitimate, serious sponsor to really put up some great prizes and put up some great stuff for our drivers that are putting in all this hard work to put on a show, we really need to show to those business entities that we mean business here, and we do mean business here, and it starts with the rule book. And that rule book eventually starts to reflect on what we see on screen and behind the scenes. So at the end of the day, I would love to pick up big time sponsors for our championships here at GT45 Gaming and really be able to reward our drivers for their efforts. But in order to do that, we need to have the solid foundation in place for that. So that's what we've done. We've built the foundation. Now we just got to build the dream. #1 New York Times bestseller. Well, I'll wait for that royalty check then. All right. When's that coming in? But no, it's very impressive. It was its own adventure, that's for sure. Coming up with that, but and like I said, a lot of feedback and a lot of seasons and a lot of experiences and a lot of lessons learned, and that's what we've ended up with. And you know what, it just continues to grow every season. So I'm sure by the next championship season it'll be 36 sections instead of 33, and it happens. Not gonna, I was just reviewing the TTRC rule book there as well, and theirs is quite extensive as well. It's very impressive over there as well. RA's rule book is very impressive. There is some impressive standards out there in the sim racing community here in GT7, and that is exactly what we were looking to do. We want to be in that realm with TTRC and RA and in that reputation level of championship racing where people desire to race with us. So in order to do that, we got to put the groundwork in first. Groundwork is there. The groundwork is most certainly there now. So now it's just up to racing, having fun, and growing this community. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Alright, so, lobby closing? Oh yeah, lobby could have been closed 10 minutes ago. We gave these guys way too much extra time. No. Alright. Appreciate the help as always, Mischievous, for coming in here again tonight. Again, I'll let you try to go as early as possible tonight because, well, we all gotta work in the morning. Yay. Do some behind the scenes figurines and some work-ins and try to sort out why this stuff is not working. I'm going to go into my settings in the stream and try to sort that out. Hopefully tomorrow's broadcast goes a little smoother with this overlay. It's funny, it settles in, right? I have a rough first 15 minutes and then it seems to settle down. So I'm not sure. It's got to be something in that first initial starting point that is causing the stream to have an issue. That intro video is most certainly, I think, one of the problems, so we'll probably just eliminate that from the program. That was just a little bit of a quick project I threw together this week and just throw some substance into the stream, really. I'm normally way more prepared for my visuals on the stream, but yeah, it was just a busy week last week. I have no excuses. I just didn't have time to get it together the way I wanted to, so we'll be working hard this week to get everything ready for this weekend's adventures. We have 2 qualifying sessions on Sunday. We have PRL on Sunday. We have GTRC on Saturday. for their TT Cup Series commentary, and then we have GT Champions Round 11 World Cup, which we're racing in. It's going to be the Genesis X at Watkins Glen, so we have ourselves a crazy busy weekend next weekend again. So I got to get the legwork done throughout the week here for sure. Like I said, keep your eyes open on SLP. Hoping by the end of the week I've got the rest of the season all up, scheduled, and functioning properly over there, and get that practice on, drivers, because March 31st is coming and you got to get that qualifying in. If you're interested in joining the series, join the GT45 Gaming Discord server. Those links are plastered all over the place right now. If you need a link, hit me up on the Facebook Messenger. I'll direct send it to you, or hit up one of the members of the community and they will get you in the Discord server. There is also a invite available on SLP. So when you go join the GT45 Gaming community and you go to take a look at the championship, there is a Discord invite right there. You just got to click on it and it'll shoot you right into the server. You'll be greeted, and if you have any questions or you need direction, just ask. We'll send you to the right place. But yeah, definitely looking for more drivers. Registration, like I said, for the series will remain open until the end of round 7. So we will be taking drivers in throughout the season until then. At that point, rounds 8, 9, and 10, I like to call the chase for the championship. It's our final 3 rounds of the season. We will not be placing any new drivers on the racetrack. We do not want to have an effect on the potential championship race that is going on at the time. So registration will officially close at the end of round 7 for the championship. But that does not mean you can come hang out with the GT45 Gaming server. So you don't have to be a racer to be in the GT45 Gaming Discord server. You could just be a fan of GT45 Gaming and just want to be a part of the server. It is welcome to all. It is a community server. We are very good at separating what we need to from the general community server. So our championships are separated. We have other areas of the server that are separated for other styles of games as well. So feel free to come in. We are trying to build a safe place for you to be and be yourself. And our admin staff does an amazing job at keeping the Discord community very safe. We have very, very few issues within the Discord community typically. And that's because we just have the best community. That's it. I mean, what else can we say? The winners community is the best community. I don't care. Hands down, we rock. Yeah, no, all that's set up like that, Murray, for sure. As soon as it's not in operation, it just basically hides itself. But this is a brand new overlay. This is a really high definition overlay. It was only dropped maybe 2 or 3 days before I downloaded it, so it's quite possible that the designer of the overlay just hasn't worked out all the bugs in it yet either. I removed a couple items off of it here tonight, and it seemed to make it much more efficient, so we're getting there. We are picking it apart piece by piece. I mean, I don't need everything that this overlay has available. It would be nice to obviously have all that on there, but a lot of it is cluttery as well, so, you know, I don't care for clutter too much on my stream, so you know, as we remove the stuff that we're not really interested in using from the overlay, it seems to be settling the overlay down. So it's just a really heavy resource filled overlay, and they're getting like that now. These animated overlays, it's an equipment problem at the end of the day. I just need some upgraded equipment to continue to force it to do more. I mean, at the end of the day. Bots not welcome, spam bots, that is facts. No. Again, something else we've been very fortunate with, knocking on wood right now. We have not had one of those in my server in over 3 years. So, very fortunate so far. Very fortunate. That's why I was knocking on wood. I just seen a bad one going around the Discord servers here just this last week. So I'm glad that the staffs and the mods over there in those servers are on the ball, because that was some bad stuff. But yeah, it happens. I mean, it does happen. I'm not an open community though, JP. My server is a closed community. It's an invite-only community. Like, you can't search. You can't search GT45 Gaming in the Discord search. It won't come up. It's private. I don't have it as an open community. It is set to a community-based server, but it's not an open community, so you can't actually find the GT45 Gaming Discord server just by searching it. It won't come up. You need an invite in order to get in. So that might be the reason why we have had better luck with spam bots, but that doesn't mean that they can't get in, right? So we have, the Discord links are all over the socials and all over the place right now as time has gone on. I mean, they're more than able to get into the server, but it's a bot, right? So it's not just searching and joining random open servers, because ours isn't a random open server. So that has helped, I think, stem a lot of the spam and issues that Discord has. And I did a little bit of research before I opened my Discord server, and that was one of the things that was talked about quite heavily, is spam bots and how to deal with spam bots and how to control spam bots, because at the time they were plaguing Discord, I guess. So I just decided not to leave it as an open search community, right? It's still a community server, but it's not an open search community server. It's a private community server. So it's an invite only community. Yeah, that's one of the servers, that particular spam bot. Yeah, I seen that in 4 different servers that same day, JP. It wasn't just RA. I'm in like 35 different servers right now on Discord just for sim racing, so it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, no, it wasn't just yours that got hit. There was 4 different servers that I was a part of that got hit by the exact same bot. So thankfully, like I said, ours did not. We've got 2 servers. We've got the team server as well as the GT45 Gaming server as well. So I got 2 servers that I got to worry about that happening in. But again, I think the 1010 server is set up the same way. I think it's set up as a community server, but it's a private server, so it can't be openly searched. You need the invite to get in, and I think that is the best way to set up the community. I mean, obviously, if you're looking just to grow a big community, leave it as an open server, but you're definitely putting your community at risk. You can also set up verification on a Discord server, so that the members do need to verify in order to stay in the server. I haven't turned that on in my server yet. I really haven't felt the need to do so. So if we start having issues like that, obviously that's another way you can prevent spam bots as well, is just to turn on the verification setting in the server. Yep, yep, yep. I'm not in the IRL server currently. I probably should jump in there by the looks of it, because I think I'm going to be jumping into the commentary team when I can here for those 24-hour, for those big enduros. So, but yeah, that'd be just another server to add to the list. But yeah, no, I mean, that's technology, right? We get it in our platform chats too. I mean, we get. I'm gonna shut the server down, Misty, so nobody jumps in all of a sudden out of nowhere. We'll hang out on the home screen, just talk with the chat for a little bit. I don't know if she could be there or not. I'm not sure. She might have the puppers outside. Terrible. Yeah, I try to have admins that are, around the clock as well. Like I got Jake, right? So he's on a completely different time zone as I am. We've got some Eastern time zones. I'm on the West Coast, right? We're not fully covered in my server as far as the 24-hour clock goes, but we're getting there. We're getting close. Could use a couple more admins from the other side of the world, and we'd be pretty well covered. But yeah, that's really is the key, is to not leave it as an open public server. Are you practicing right now, Miss T? If you're practicing, I just wasn't paying attention. Small little tips and tricks that, we always wish that people would tell us before we find out the hard way. Thankfully, I was smart enough to do the research before I opened the server. I didn't know how to set up a Discord server, so that's why I was doing the research on Discord. When I started streaming, I didn't know anything about it at all. Everything that where we are today now, 3 and almost 4 years later, is all a lot of it is self-taught. A lot of it is self-taught, not all of it, but most of it is self-taught. We have things go wrong, get on YouTube and research it, right? Get on the forums, get on the Reddit, wherever we need to, start doing some reading, start watching videos, sort it out. Even with this new capture card that I just recently picked up for the stream to get the thing back up and running for the time being, I had to YouTube it because it wasn't exactly my piece of equipment, so it had different things that needed to be set up properly. And yeah, so I mean, it's a never ending battle. when it comes to streaming, and I, I've had help from, other streamers, Ghost Viper, D Dot, to start with. I've gotten some advice from guys like some of the bigger Call of Duty streamers when I first started out asking questions. They take the time to actually answer them, so I appreciate that. Most recently Spartacus being one of them. I had a lot of good insight on the Facebook platform, and that really did kind of help me lock in a decision on what I wanted to do with the future of the page. So we're not leaving Facebook. Facebook's been good to us. It's really never done us any wrong. It's killed our algorithm, but it's never done us any wrong. So, I mean, we're never going to leave the platform, but we just got to adapt with the platform. So that's what we're going to do. YouTube, I mean, they've made changes, and they've made changes for the better, in my opinion. They've made it a little simpler for smaller creators like myself to try and monetize our pages, so they have lessened the restrictions slightly in a sense to get started at least into that program for YouTube. So YouTube is making good adjustments for creators, and I mean, at the end of the day, YouTube is just a great platform for live streaming and videos, anyways. So. Yeah, so I haven't had a ton of help in along the way, so I've had to kind of figure things out the hard way, just take the bumps and grind it out, and that's the epiphany of my life. That's how I roll. It seems like to be the only way I learn is just to take it the hard way and then figure it out. But so I definitely like to try and give those little tidbits of advice out when I can to those that are might be looking for that little tidbit of information, because if I could save somebody a day or two of stress going through the same process I had to go through to figure out something that is 9 times out of 10 is super simple to figure out, um, perfect. That just gets them moving forward in life that much quicker, right? So we just try to do the best we can to help out where we can. But I mean, appreciate everybody hanging out here tonight, just kind of chilling, talking. Been really just filling the airwaves with my voice for the whole night because I miss my community. I do. I miss the winners. I miss all you guys and gals a lot. So it's been nice to sit here and just chill out and hang out for the last couple of nights while we do some qualifying for the GT45 Prototype Challenge. Uh, I mean, we're going to see a lot of this over the next 3 weeks on this page. We're going to start hyping it up. We're going to start really building it up here now over the next 3 weeks. We're going to see lobbies up for it. We're going to be seeing a lot of posts for it. We've got Kilt Racer just absolutely throwing out crazy, amazing videos for the series. We've got Fast Ginger doing the same thing there over on YouTube for the Ten Tenths part of it. Lots of people are stepping in to really hype this thing up. So, I mean, the hype does start now. I mean, we've got qualifying. Over half our drivers are now in the books qualified. It is game on here now. It is game on here now. It's exciting times at GT45 Gaming. It's anxious times at GT45 Gaming. I'm going to be a ball of nerves and a wreck come race night, because I always am at the start of a new season. But looking forward to it, and I hope you guys and gals are ready for it too, because this is our baby. And I suspect that there's just going to be a little something extra out of me in the commentary booth for this one. It's just because it's ours. So um, let's have some fun this season. Let's see what happens. Let's grow this thing. Let's turn it into one of the most desirable racing series out there in the GT7 market, and let's keep growing this bad boy. And we'll turn it into some bigger, better things if we can continue to grow these championships. So this one, some new ones coming. We'll have one-offs. We'll have lots of stuff coming for everybody. Just got to give us time to work it all out, develop it. It takes time. It takes time to figure it all out. But we're excited. It's glad to see the cars in motion. It's glad to see the drivers in the cars in motion. It's glad to see the drivers have got a great handle on the cars in motion. That just means that should be in for a great season of racing. All the signs are pointing to 2 thumbs up right now, and I got a big smile on my face. And at the end of the day, that means I'm having fun. So we're on the right track, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the viewers for hanging out with us here again today, later this afternoon. There's been a lot of content coming out of here today. Great races from PRL earlier today. Division 2 and 3 coming out hot. Division 1 race being canceled due to safety concerns from track officials. And we'll continue on our journey with Pure Racing League next Sunday for their Master Series qualifying session. We'll have a little qualifying session open tomorrow night by the looks of it. Again, stay tuned for the announcement of the Discord server for that. So we are going to be live tomorrow night. barring anything crazy happening, real life, that is. So we'll have that session up for a couple of our drivers tomorrow to get them through, and then we'll probably just finish off tonight with some open lobby racing for the community. Most likely is I think going to be the plan. We'll probably keep it on the LMP1 style, and we'll just let the guys come in with their cars and have some fun tomorrow night. Whatever car it happens to be, we don't even care. Let's just have some fun tomorrow night after qualifying and just do some racing and some high downforce. I enjoy it, so every chance I can get to jump into one of them cars, I'm all for it. But appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out again. Another really doozy of a stream. I mean, where we at 3 hours here, so 7.5 hours of qualifying here this weekend, and really we got a large portion of our driving community through. So that makes me very happy to see. I appreciate all our viewers over there on the green site, on Kick, Murray coming in with the heart on the stream as well. And appreciate all our viewers over on Facebook and YouTube as usual, killing it. YouTube is really crushing it lately. YouTube is really doing great things for us here right now at GT45 Gaming, so we're definitely going to make that push on YouTube. We are looking for that 500 sub mark. We are at about 425, I think is the number right now. We grabbed some new subs today, and that's fantastic. So do us a favor, like and share, especially the YouTuber out. Let's get that channel out there. Let's get people in here. We got some great racing action live on this YouTube channel very regularly here. There's always lots of great stuff to see, different types of groups, organizations, classes of cars. Never a dull moment here when it comes to commentary from GT45 Gaming. So let's get the YouTube channel out there. Let's share it. Let's just pump it. Tell all your friends. Tell your family. Get everybody in here checking this stuff out, because I have a goal this season. I want to see 100 live viewers on this YouTube channel before the end of this GT45 Prototype season. Let's see if we can do it. I'm going to need your help, though. I'm going to need the help of the community to pull this one off. But if we hit 100 live viewers at one point in the live stream on YouTube this season, we'll attach a little fun challenge to it. I haven't decided what that is yet. We'll take some suggestions from the community on that. Maybe we'll do the Death Nut challenge. Maybe we'll do the one chip challenge, something along those lines. But if we hit 100 live viewers once this season at one time on the YouTube channel through the Prototype GT45 challenge, I think we'll do something pretty crazy to say thank you to the viewers for it, that's for sure. But I appreciate everybody hanging out. I'm really having fun with this series. I'm excited now. My mind is going a million miles a minute right now, thinking about the potential, what's going to happen here, looking at these unofficial qualifying times at the moment. Mile a minute right now, this brain's going. But I appreciate y'all. I'm going to try and get it to slow down here. I'm going to go eat some good food, get rested up for a great hard day of work tomorrow. Yay! Adulting is fun. And get ready to bring some more content to everybody watching at home here tomorrow night. So we are back, and we are racing, and we're racing fast. So appreciate y'all. Thank you for the likes and the shares over on Facebook, all the comments over there on Facebook as well. A huge love to our YouTubers coming in big again, smashing the stream out here tonight again, late Sunday night too as well. So that's a good sign for our YouTube channel. We're really got high hopes for YouTube this particular calendar year. And hello and welcome into our new Kick viewers and followers as well. Slowly but surely, we're starting to find our way through that green platform. And I think about another 10 hours streamed over there, I think that algorithm is going to start picking us up, and I think we're going to start seeing some traffic over on the Kick platform as well. So the more, the merrier. Let's get that viewer count up there this week, this season. We did very well with our DMJ championships. We did very well with the Roving Island World Tour championships, and that is a tall order, because I got to tell you what, we had massive views out of that championship last season, and we had huge reviews out of that season last season. So I'm using that as our baseline for this season, and that's the goal, is to just try and step up above that one a little bit. And it is a big goal. I'm not going to put numbers out here for everybody, because that's that's my problem. That's not your guys' problem. But we hit big numbers last season, last championship racing season that was put out here from a very well organized group, and we're hoping that if we don't beat it, we would like to at least see some close numbers to that. That is going to be a smashing success at the end of the day, honestly. So appreciate y'all. Remember, y'all matter. Don't be scared to reach out. There's always somebody in the community that's willing to listen. There's probably somebody that can relate, and maybe we'll have some insight or suggestions that could help you get through a similar situation. We all have lived life. We've all gone through our things. We all have different life experiences. But the one thing I am really good at is just listening and letting you get it off your chest, because I know it's important. I use that style all the time, venting as I like to call it, just to relieve that pressure that's going through my mind, and then I'm good and I can move forward from it. So don't forget to reach out. Somebody is always there to help and give a lending hand, or just have an open ear to listen. Stay winning. It's a message of positivity. It means no matter how much life can be kicking you in the butt and keeping you down, you got to keep your head up and you got to keep pushing forward, because life can't stop you. It's not going to stop you. It can sure try, and it will only stop you if you let it. So stay winning is a positive message for our community out there. It's kind of my catchphrase nowadays. So, but that's what it means. It's a message of positivity. It's a message of, you just keep your head up and your nose pointed forward and push through it, because it can't stop you. Nothing can stop you. It only stops you if you let it. That's it. Bottom line. So that's what stay winning means, ladies and gentlemen. It's the epiphany of my life. It is how I live my life. I have been kicked and knocked down to the ground many times in my life, I'm sure, just like many of you have. But the one thing I always do is keep my head up and keep my nose pointed forward. And I have always pushed through every problem in my life. Maybe not with the desired result, but I have pushed through it and moved past it. So that's what that means. That's why I say it. I stand by it. I live my life by it. And we're still going. We're still kicking, and we still got a good, strong mental attitude. Obviously, with some help along the way, but so it's just how you got to do it. Life isn't easy. If life was easy, it'd be boring. Let's put it that way. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank you all for being here all weekend long. It's been a crazy weekend of content, and I can't wait to see y'all tomorrow night. Open lobby night and some qualifying here from GT45 Gaming. We'll probably do the LMP ones all night tomorrow night, just to keep it tried and true. We'll see y'all on track. We'll see y'all on screen. We'll see y'all in the chat. Love y'all. Catch you on the next one as soon as I find my button. I don't know how many screens this overlay has.